Police hustlers. Go to 45bucks.com.
This is Mike Carter, founder of 45bucks.com, or as you know it, traffic law counselors. And right now, around tax time, we know folks are taking care of issues that they may have been putting off for a while. Maybe a driving while suspended or a warrant, things that you may have been worrying about for a little while. And we specialize in keeping folks' records clean. They come to us on a Monday, they can't drive, and by the end of that week, on a Friday, we've got them back in the driver's seat driving legally. And that's very gratifying. And God forbid you're wrestling with something like a DWI. You can go to DWISTL.com. We got 10 paralegals and attorneys that are working on those cases nonstop, and depositions, trials, hearings, and we can put that to work for you as well. In fact, it's the enduring success of traffic law counselors that has enabled us to be the preeminent DWI attorneys in St. Louis at DWISTL.com. So now you know, if you have a traffic matter, it's 45bucks.com. If you've got a DWI issue, it's DWISTL.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisement.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
He's worried about the safety of some Boeing jets. Lisa Brady, Fox News, worried enough to publicly testify on Capitol Hill.
I'm not here today because I want to be here. I'm here today because I felt that I must come forward, because I do not want to see another 787. I do not want to see 787 or 777 crash.
Sam Salpour, a Boeing quality engineer turned whistleblower, says his analysis of company data finds manufacturing shortcuts in the 787 Dreamliner program that could significantly reduce safety. Boeing has called his claims inaccurate and has offered reassurance about ongoing investigations of recent incidents, including the door panel blowout midair on a 737 MAX jet. A House hearing on the U.S. defense budget disrupted by protesters demanding the U.S. stop supporting Israel's war against Hamas.
You say that genocide is good for American jobs? Shame on you! Shame on you!
This as Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin was urging lawmakers to support more aid for Israel, Ukraine, and other allies. The president also urging Congress to pass foreign aid, writing in the Wall Street Journal that as Iran attacked Israel over the weekend, Russia was continuing its bombardment of Ukraine.
President Biden says Ukraine and Israel are under attack by brazen adversaries seeking their annihilation, and America must never accept either outcome, saying U.S. security is also on the line. House Speaker Mike Johnson has announced plans on separate votes for Israel, Ukraine, and Taiwan aid, likely happening Saturday evening.
Fox's Jared Halpern in Washington. The Columbia University president says her school has taken steps to address anti-Semitism on campus. Reassurance being met by skepticism from some lawmakers at a House hearing as protesters on the Columbia campus today demand the university divest from companies doing business with Israel. America is listening to Fox News.
Waiting on a tax return? Hopefully it ends up in your hands. Fraudulent tax returns due to identity theft increased by 30% in 2023. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. Our U.S.-based restoration specialists are experts dedicated to helping solve your identity theft issues. And all LifeLock plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package. So we'll reimburse you up to the limits of your plan if you lose money due to identity theft. Help protect your information this tax season with LifeLock. Save up to 25% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare information guide absolutely free. Call 800-919-3200. That's 800-919-3200. 800-919-3200.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Mild to warm temperatures this afternoon. Winds from the south, and it will be windy. Lots of sunshine. 79, 80. Tonight, clear skies, 52. Thursday, back to unsettled. A mix of clouds and sunshine. Some scattered showers and thunderstorms kicking up in the afternoon Thursday. Windy and 80. Evening showers and thunderstorms Thursday night. Here comes the northwest wind. 48 for the low. Friday, sunny and a cool 62. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's corporate cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now, get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. RAMP.com/free.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
The IRS definitely ramped up operations since the pandemic slowed them down, and activity only increases from here. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. If you're currently under audit or you haven't paid your taxes in the past, now's the time to call the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS has a published Taxpayer Bill of Rights, which says you have the right to retain legal representation. Because IRS problems are legal problems, and the Lance Story Law Firm focuses specifically on addressing IRS issues for our clients. It's all we do. We get out in front of the IRS, devise the best resolution plan, and work to make sure you're able to take advantage of every program you're qualified to receive. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure company, call the Lance Story Law Firm. We're local, located right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURYlaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
This is Chad Clayman with ClaymanGroup.com, KLAMEN Group.com, where we buy property in as-is condition. Are you wanting to sell your property, but you don't want to deal with the stress? Many times people sell to us because they want to be a less stressed seller and they want to simplify their solution. We can provide a flexible closing date on your sale, and we can make it easy to sell your property. We can guarantee we'll give you our best offer possible to make a win-win situation. If you have a house you want to sell, to simplify your sale, KLAMEN Group.com.
Don't pay retail for your diamond engagement ring or gift. Come to CleanOrigin.com. We're experts in ecologically friendly lab-grown diamonds. Mention code RADIO10 for 10% off. That's CleanOrigin.com online or one of our retail stores.
More good news for Frederick Roofing, voted best roofing company by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
314-645-2000.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
I think what's going to happen is we're going to end up doing so well. We're way ahead in the polls against Biden. Biden has destroyed our country. Look, Biden is the worst president in the history of our country. Worse than Jimmy Carter by a long shot. Jimmy Carter's happy because he's had a brilliant presidency compared to Biden. He's destroyed our country. Between the borders and everything else, he has destroyed our country. Not only that, wars are breaking out all over the world. We'll end up with this foolish person, this person that doesn't act. We're going to end up in a World War III. So we have to get rid of Biden.
Well, you know what? That's not in like Palm Beach, Florida, outside Mar-a-Lago, where Donald Trump is talking about how bad Joe Biden is or how good he's going to be as the president should he win in November. That's in Harlem. And the videos that go along with this audio are pretty amazing to see. He goes to a bodega, if you ask one, Dr. Jill Biden. I almost said Jill Stein. Gosh, dang it, my phone. Sorry, guys. He's surrounded by people. It looks just like New York, which means everybody's represented there. And they are interested in what he has to say. They're drawn to his magnetism. They're in a position to see him and listen to him. And it culminates in him in the crowd yelling, "We love Trump." There were old people, young people, every walk of life. Donald Trump goes to Harlem and talks to the people. More, 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 more. Or as I put on Twitter, the Bugs Bunny standing in front of the symphony, putting his hand up, going, "More." I can't get enough of it. It's so.
The laws are right. The whole world is watching this New York legal system. This is all election interference at the highest level. It all comes out of Washington because they're losing badly. You know they're losing very badly. You do know that. They're losing badly in the polls. And I think you're going to see some numbers coming out now even higher. People don't like the persecution. They don't like what's going on. They don't like these fake prosecutors, deranged Jack Smith, the whole group of them. And I think you're going to see some big changes being made. What do you think of Speaker Johnson's view? You know what we're going to be doing, right? We're going to be saving America. Our country is under siege.
We're going to be saving America. Is that dramatic? Is it overly dramatic for Donald Trump to be standing in Harlem, New York City, after he's been let out of court and he's running for president once again against Joe Biden? Is it a little dramatic to be saying, we're going to be saving America? Brad, do you find that to be dramatic?
No, I don't. And the reason I don't is because everybody knows that this is a chance. This election is one of those pivot points in America. And I think it's kind of shocking that we had a pivot point in 2020 and a pivot point now. And actually 2016 was a pivot point. If you stop and now looking back on it historically, I didn't think it was at the time, but now looking back on it, Donald Trump's presidency was a dramatic shift in the direction of the country. It was a shift in politics in general. And then 2020 was almost like an overcorrection. And so this is like one of those points, like, did we overcorrect in 2020, or do we want to go back to the way things were under Donald Trump and maybe polish it off a little bit?
Of the entirety of our lives on the face of this earth, 2020 is the most bizarre, weird, anomaly year, exponentially so, that I have lived to see. The decisions that we made in 2020, the decisions that we followed, the ones we chose not to follow, this was not real life. I mean, it's so crazy to go back. I remember during lockdown, I'm from Illinois, so we were trailblazers in the way of lockdowns. I remember being about 2 weeks into it, and you kind of got, you sunk into it a little bit, and you're like, okay, we don't have to wear jeans anymore. You remember when you hadn't seen your jeans, you hadn't seen your long pants. Everything was athleisure. You know why athleisure is so popular right now? Because everybody needed it in 2020 and nobody was wearing it in 2020 the way they are now. Everybody realized that your comfortable clothes are ugly. And they're like, we got to up our game here. Not a bad thing. I'm not complaining about it. It was not a normal time. And what we went through, everything they could throw at you as a voter, they tried to throw at you as a voter. Inflame everything everywhere all at once. And generally speaking, when that's the case, when everything is going wrong in incredible ways, you probably want the biggest change you possibly can to get away from it. Was Donald Trump responsible for COVID? No. Was Donald Trump responsible for George Floyd? No. Was Donald Trump responsible for the riots that were taking out across the entire country? No. But isn't it amazing that come the November election, you were really supposed to pin all those things on Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Like, you were really led to believe that we needed this new, fresh beginning. And if you remember, it was almost kind of embarrassing to watch. Like, it was like, I don't think I'm supposed to be able to see these people fawning over this man like this. When Joe Biden got elected on Inauguration Day.
Yeah, that was creepy.
Yeah, it felt private. It felt like this seems like personal behind closed doors affection. But the idea of this brand new beginning, Morning in America, take 2, was supposed to wash away the heaviness, the awfulness of 2020. I don't think that the inflammation of the bad things that happened in 2020, COVID was bad. COVID got here. COVID was not a Republican or a Democrat virus. It was a real virus. It took the lives of people who you love and who I love. COVID was real. But of course, how we went and managed it was awful and inflamed. Inflamed with politics. It is amazing to me to look at the politics that existed around COVID. What you did, what you wore, when you did it, where you did it, had everything to do with your politics. Here's the number one case in point.
Before or after the election, should Americans take it, and would you take it?
If the public health professionals, if Dr. Fauci, if the doctors tell us that we should take it, I'll be the first in line to take it. Absolutely. But if Donald Trump tells us that we should take it, I'm not taking it.
Imagine a life-saving measure that you can participate in. What we finally found out was for the good of everybody. It wasn't just about, like, the vaccine wasn't about you and your health. It was actually, it became only about your willingness to help everybody around you. It was virtue on display.
Mm-hmm.
And because they made a Facebook circle that you could put around your Facebook profile picture to tell everybody how good you are. I hate those things. So that was a clip from October 8th of 2020. What was going on in October 8th of 2020? Oh, that's right. We weren't investigating the Hunter Biden laptop. That's what's going on then. Fast forward a year, September 24th, 2021.
I mean, look, here's how I feel about it. People have got to be responsible.
Oh.
I've been watching, like many of you, with heartache, the videos of people who are in an ICU bed who did not get vaccinated, pleading with their family members, please get vaccinated.
Well, maybe that's because the president told them to get the vaccine and they said, I'm not going to do it. Maybe that's why they didn't get vaccinated. And maybe that was because of the advice of the vice president of the United States, then candidate for vice president of the United States, who said if the president tells you to get the vaccine, that you're not going to participate in it. Imagine being so willing to get a medical procedure because the Democrats told you to do it, but unwilling to do it because the Republicans told you to do it. I would really honestly say, of all of the things that have absurdly entered the political sphere, the whole concept of vaccinations across the timeline that they've existed, Brad, Republicans have been, in my opinion, the most principled by far on this issue because Republicans don't agree.
Right.
Within their own party. There are people who feel one way. There are people who feel another way. There are people who never got the vaccine and are very grateful that they didn't. There are people who did get the vaccine and are grateful that they did. There are people who got the vaccine and regretted getting it.
Yes.
And you can follow all of those people, be principled on it. But on the left, you can't.
It's a purity test.
Yeah, you cannot say the wrong thing.
Right.
How can you look at something like that and file it in the filing cabinet under medical care if it has a red or a blue uniform on it? That's absurd.
I remember when Kamala Harris was talking about this, and really, it wasn't just her. It was all over Twitter in the events leading up to the election. I said on Twitter, I was like, listen, these people right now are out here saying this vaccine, they ain't trying, they're not going to try it, they're not going to take it, blah, blah, blah. I said, but you can bet if Joe Biden wins this election and there is a vaccine that comes out, because this is before the vaccine actually came out, if Joe Biden wins this election, these are the same people that will be first in line with their sleeves rolled up to get vaccinated.
Joe Biden was in line to get this.
Yes, he was first in line.
He got 2 vaccinations before the election and then said that it was anyway.
Well, and remember, too, that they didn't release the announcement that they had a vaccine until after the election because they said they didn't want it to be political, which was an in and of itself a political move.
So the first clip I played was from Kamala Harris, and it was her at the vice presidential debate where she's asked, like, are you going to get the vaccine? And she said, if the doctors and Fauci says so, yes, because Fauci is nonpartisan. Pause for effect. If Trump says to get it, there's no way I'm getting it. And then the next one I played was from a year later. So I understand you're like, Annie, that was a year later. She had so much more information. First one, October 8th. The second one I played, October 8th, 2020. The second one I played, September 24th, 2021. Let's rewind right into the middle, February 26th, basically 1 month after Donald Trump was no longer the president. And, of course, Joe Biden was the guy in charge.
And the point, Rev, is this. I got vaccinated. I can tell you, first of all, that these vaccines are safe. It will save your life.
Oh, she's very convicted on that. She knows. She understands what happened. Democrat president in office, everything changes. When your girl is in office, everything changes. Everything's better. So much so that the vaccination that she said she wouldn't take if Donald Trump, it was the same vaccination. The idea that the vaccine would do one thing to you if you got it because Fauci said it and another thing to you because Trump said it, that's the same vaccine that Joe Biden said to take. But here we are. The absurdity of what we went through in 2020 led to a moment in November of 2020, Donald Trump versus Joe Biden, who was hardly even present for the campaign. In my opinion, people made an emotional decision to not support Donald Trump. And of course, the left did everything they could to change voting laws, go to Pennsylvania, go to Arizona, go to Nevada, and look at what was done in a lot of these different swing states to alter the norm of how votes are collected. I'm not talking about 3 a.m. water pipe breaks and stuff under the table that in many cases has been debunked, in other cases hasn't been prosecuted because it was never allowed in court, so we just don't know about some of this stuff. I'm not worried about those things. I'm worried about how the Democrats got away with working at a state-by-state level to change the laws. They used the chaos that they helped sow into the country, they used it to their advantage. One might say, never let a crisis go to waste. They sure didn't. How do we win knowing all of that took place in 2020? It has nothing to do with Donald Trump and Joe Biden. It's the system that's in place. None of that. Everybody pounding their fist on the table. Election day, not election season. One vote, one day, show your right. Okay, all great ideas. I understand it. I am probably the most pro-life person I know. Life begins at conception. I'm confident in that. I still also know that while I say life begins at conception, that if somewhere, somehow, they passed a federal 15-week abortion ban, that would be a win. Because right now we're aborting babies all the way through pregnancy in the state of Illinois, and we're proud of it. In order to be a practical conservative that understands where to get the wins, you have to look at the reality of the situation, and you have to be able to understand incremental wins where your goal is always the same, your principles are the same, but you take the wins when you can get them. How are we going to change the narrative enough? What does Tyler Boyer always say in Arizona? We have to be leading outside the margins. He uses a word. It's not cheating. There's a specific words of manipulation or something like that. Well, how much, if you think that the ballot harvesting that is legal in many states, if you think, well, that's going to happen no matter what, we got to outdo it. If it's legal, we got to do it more than they do, or at least twice as much as we did the last time. We got to show up, we got to know the rules of the game, and we've got to compete as hard as we can compete. And if you don't like the fact that we're ballot harvesting legally in the places where the process is allowed, if you don't like it, you're going to have to do it to defeat it. You're never going to change those election laws at your state level until you start winning elections. Illinois is not going to be changing their election laws anytime soon to benefit conservatives when they're in the super minority in both chambers of the General Assembly, and J.B. Pritzker is the governor. It's just not happening. We have to think in terms of what is realistic, and then we have to focus on achievable goals. That looks very different in the state of Illinois than it looks in the state of Missouri. Missouri, you've got all your statewide races up for grabs this November. It's very important to be paying attention to sending the person who can govern in the most effective way for constitutional conservative values. Who's that person for you? And why is that person the person for you? And you're answering that question right now in your head, and the person in the car next to you has a different answer for a different reason, and that's okay. But we do the work now. And if you're Donald Trump, you show up at I can't say bodega without thinking bodega. Jill. Dr. Jill Biden, you've gotten into my head. Showing up at a bodega in Harlem to talk to people, does that sound ridiculous? Well, if you're going to be in New York City, if there is one place where it seems like everybody is represented, it's probably New York City. So go to every nook and cranny of New York City. Go to every bodega in New York City, in Harlem, in wherever you can reach. Go to the Hamptons and go to the Bronx and go to all of the different boroughs and be seen. The cameras will follow you when the crowds follow you. And where this man goes, the crowds follow. Where Joe Biden goes, nobody knows. Not even Joe. That all rhymes. I didn't even mean to do that. How are we going to win this next election? It's going to take some guerrilla warfare and grassroots gone wild for the Republicans, because we do have to win outside the margin of error. Dramatically so. And every single voter has to be considered somebody who we will be willing to talk to and listen to. I think that's what we're seeing Donald Trump do in New York, and it is quite a good use of his time while he's trapped in that city. The YouTube live chat poll for today: which level is the most important to win in the November elections? You cannot vote all of the above, because obviously that would be such a boring poll. You need to tell me what's the most important to you this November: local, state, congressional, or presidential? I have a pretty confident answer for this. We're going to get to those discussions a little bit later in the show, but I do want to know what you think about it. So if you go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel, you can vote. You can leave a comment. Doug says school board elections, for instance, mean a hell of a lot more to me than the president. So I think Doug's saying local. Would you rather have your local elections go your way or your presidential election? Doug thinks local. What do you say? Go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel, leave a comment, and vote. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
The Retirement Advisory Group, Thomas Helbig, and the Kershaws, they're waiting for your phone call so that you can set up your free meeting with them to learn how you can shift from where you are right now into retirement. 314-993-9494. 314-993-9494. Calling them will set up that opportunity for you to sit down and have a chat. You don't have any obligation. You can go, oh, nope, I didn't learn anything there. It's not for me. You probably won't. And so many 97.1 listeners, Annie Fry Show listeners, who have reached out to Thomas Helbig and the Retirement Advisor Group are grateful that they made that connection, because it's exactly what you need in that transitionary period. Reach out to Thomas Helbig at 314-993-9494. You can go online as well to retirementkey.com and have a conversation with them. You're going to love the staff that is there. They're going to be very helpful in getting you through the conversation and understanding where you are versus where you want to be and making that transition worry-free. They've been helping clients retire with confidence for the past 38 plus years. Become one of them. 314-993-9494, retirementkey.com.
You know, most people never get to sit down with elected officials and ask them about the important issues. I'm Judge Mike Carter, and that's exactly why I host the news talk program Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter. My goal is to bring those who represent us closer to the people they serve. I ask the questions you would in a no-nonsense manner. That's why we've been able to interview so many top local, state, and federal officials, because as a judge, I offer an unbiased, one-on-one conversation that's hard to find elsewhere these days. Besides serving as judge, I have a journalism degree, which is how the name of the show, Justice and in Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter, evolved. You never know who we'll interview next, from Governor Parson to prosecutors, sports figures to Missouri business leaders. Justice in Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter, airs on Fox and ABC. You can also watch our past shows at MikeCarter.com, where we ask the questions and let you be the judge.
If you'd like to see more of Judge Mike Carter's interviews on his program, Justice in Journalism, visit MikeCarter.com. That's MikeCarter.com.
Ready to turn your home into a digital racetrack? Buckle up for i3 Broadband's advanced whole home Wi-Fi. Picture this: lightning fast internet in every nook and cranny. No dead zones, no lag, just pure connectivity. Whether you're binge watching in the living room or video calling from the basement. All with no contracts, no hidden fees, just insane speeds. Plus our no-risk 30-day money-back guarantee. Hit us up at 877-976-0711 or zoom over to i3broadband.com/STL. We're local, reliable, and turbocharging your internet life.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
At Neovitin, we are all about supporting your nutrition, and that's why we are excited about our new Neovitin Omega-3 supplement. Neovitin Omega-3 is formulated with 1,200 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids to help support healthy hearts. Our high-quality omega-3 fish oils are sourced from wild-caught fish and tested for heavy metals. With our convenient monthly subscription, you can get Neovitin Omega-3 delivered right to your door every month with no long-term obligations. Support your daily nutrition and sign up for a Neovitin Omega-3 subscription at neovitin.com today.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Keep the air you're paying to heat where it should be with 15% off attic insulation. For a free estimate on attic insulation, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Aerosmith is coming back to St. Louis on October 14th, and we want to send you for free just by listening to us. It's Mark Reardon. Listen all this week for your chance to win tickets to the Aerosmith Peace Out Farewell Tour with the Black Crowes.
I got my mind set on you. I got my mind set on you. I got my mind set on you. Got my mind set on you. But it's gonna take money.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
A whole lot of spending money. It's gonna take plenty of money to do it right, child. It's gonna take time, whole lot of precious time. It's gonna take patience and time to do it, 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 to do it right, child. I got my mind set.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. Right now, we're watching as senators are sworn in for the Mayorkas impeachment trial. And it's just kind of a procedural thing at this point, but we're going to keep our ear on it to see if anything develops over the course of the next few minutes as this is beginning. They're literally signing in. This is not like you sign into your computer. They're literally putting pen to paper and signing in here. There's a lot going on right now in the world and, of course, in the news. And yesterday, we had a really interesting conversation, as we always do, with Jim Carafano, because he's incredibly well-versed on a lot of these different things. But the Israel-Iran conflict right now, I think, has a lot of people on the edge of their seat, and everybody's waiting to see what Netanyahu and Israel is going to do next. Fox News reports Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu left no doubt in a statement on Wednesday regarding what his Jewish country might do should current tensions with Iran escalate further. Netanyahu said in a statement, Israel will do whatever it needs to defend itself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's the 9-word phrase that they say. Netanyahu says 9 chilling words as Iran's president vows to completely destroy Israel. Israel will do whatever it needs to defend itself. Of course they will. Why would anybody think anything different? I don't love the push. You know, if you've been this person on a much smaller scale, this is obviously about as big of a stage that you can be on. But Brad, have you ever experienced being asked to do the right thing because people figured you'd probably be the one willing to do it in an unfair situation where it's like, Brad, we're just going to need you to do this because people can rely on you to follow through, where maybe the other party in the circumstance, you can't rely on them. You can't count on them.
So it's like in a reliability way?
Yeah, or in if tensions are rising or if somebody's acting out or acting up or whatever, it's like people are going to pressure you to be the bigger man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a minister, so I get that.
You weren't always a minister.
No, but I do get that pressure a lot. And, yeah.
It's not fair.
No, it's not fair. At the end of the day, though, doing the right thing is the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
And being the bigger person, well, I don't know if being the bigger person is always the right thing. And I think I could make an argument from Scripture about that, you know. But
well, I think that's kind of what's going on with Israel.
Yeah.
Like, what's the goal? Is the goal to not have the worst conflict we can possibly have right now? Because if so, you're going to have to pressure Israel to be the calmer head.
People get in their mind that the right thing is what the popular opinion is.
It rarely is.
And it isn't. And I'm sitting here, if you look at Israel, and I look at Israel was attacked by Iran. And people are like, well, that was in response to them unrighteously killing the general. Well, that general that they killed in that quote-unquote embassy wasn't an embassy. It was a planning headquarters for the Iranian Republican Guard. The general that they killed was the guy that planned the October 7th attacks. Hamas didn't do that on their own. They had help from Iran.
Funding.
Hezbollah doesn't attack Israel on their own. They have funding and planning help from Iran. They're what they call proxies. So if Iran launches a bunch of missiles and drones at Israel, and Israel, with the help of the United States and some other countries, were able to knock all but I think one of them out of the sky. One of them landed, which is fantastic. That's way better than I thought they could do. Really excellent work there. If somebody tries to sucker punch you and you happen to block the sucker punch, that doesn't mean that the fight is over. That's just the beginning, and you have to deal with that new threat now. So I don't think it's fair to ask Israel to say, hey, we need you to calm down here because, you know, you were able to do it and you demonstrated your might and defense. And it's like sometimes the best defense is a good offense.
Well, and also what I always want to know, like, how much destruction has to happen in order for you to be like, all right, Israel, let loose? Because I would say the October 7th.
I'm past that line. You know, do I think American boots should be on the ground to assist Israel? No. But I don't think that Israel will necessarily need American boots on the ground to help finish this fight. I think that basically what the United States needs to do is hold everybody back and be like, let them finish it. This is their issue. Let them finish it. Because, like, the thing that people fail to remember or fail to grasp is that Hezbollah, Hamas, and Iran, their goal is not a two-state solution. It is a one-state solution, but that means no Israel. Their goal is to remove Israel from the face of the earth. Now, some people will say that they actually want to go as far as to remove the Jewish people from the face of the earth. I don't know about that, but I do know that removing that country from the face of the earth is not the good guy in that situation. They are the bad guys. And if Israel's in a fight for survival, I don't see why they should be forced to have neighbors that are just hell-bent on their destruction. You shouldn't be forced to live next to somebody who wants to kill you. You shouldn't.
Yeah. And I can't help but think that my lack of faith and confidence in America's role in the entirety of this thing is it bothers me how I feel like we are a background player. I don't want to be on the front lines by any means, but I don't feel like our principled resolve is obvious. And I feel like what we see President Biden saying and doing, there's conflicting signals coming out of the Biden administration to the point where if they just go, you know what, America, clearly you're worried about your political campaigns coming up. Forget about you. I don't think that's good.
No. And actually that harms our relationship with Israel, which is Israel's our strongest Middle Eastern ally. It was our strong relationship with Israel under the Trump administration that allowed the Abraham Accords to come about. Saudi Arabia, they looked at Iran, saw Iran as a threat. They looked at Israel, said, we have a common enemy in Iran, and the United States supports Israel, therefore we will partner with them. They signed the Abraham Accords, which are historic. And it should bring about a modicum of peace. It's not going to bring about total peace. You're never going to bring about total peace in the Middle East. But you need peace through strength. And the United States looks so wishy-washy there that bad actors like Iran are looking at this. Heck, I'll throw Russia in there. Russia's looking at it too, going, well, maybe they won't do something.
Russia has come out and said, Israel, now it's time to show restraint. Really?
Yeah, Russia, sit this one out.
Really? Come on. As if Russia doesn't have interest in Iran.
Right. Russia has huge interest in Iran.
Well, we're going to speak with Deroy Murdock at the 1 o'clock hour, and we're going to talk about the Harlem visit from Donald Trump, where you heard this. Well, there's at least a portion of Harlem that wants 4 more years of Donald Trump, and it's quite something to see. Donald Trump is going to have to figure out how to continue this on the ground, on location, show up, speak to real people, just be seen. Because the more up close and personal Donald Trump can be through the rest of this election, we have 202 days until we vote. The more up close and personal that he can be with each individual voter, he's got a lot of time. This election process, having the nominees on both parties this early is nearly unprecedented. Keep doing it every day. Go meet more voters. The mainstream media, the political-driven pundits, the Biden administration, or I should say the Biden campaign, they can't spin that. When Donald Trump meets the voters, they can't wedge themselves in the middle of that relationship to try to jumble the message. Donald Trump gives it straight to the people. That's a way that he can win. And we've been saying it on this show forever. Go to the places where people don't normally go, Republicans. Show up. People are very disenfranchised with the Democrat Party right now. The Democrat Party is very segmented. I don't know which part of that Democrat Party is going to prevail. But go show up. Persuade some of these people to just consider seeing you in a light that they can see with their own eyes and with voice that they can hear with their own ears. Not some predisposed message that comes across, the MSNBC, CNN, TikTok news channels. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, Ryan Wiggins in studio. He's going to take us through a little time travel today. What does that mean? Well, we'll find out here in just a minute. Come vote at the Andy Fry YouTube live chat poll. Which level is the most important to win in the November elections? You can't say all of the above. You got to pick one. The most important, of course, they're all important, but which is the most important to you? Local, state, congressional, or presidential? Let us know what you think. We'll be right back.
I got my mind set on you. Set on you. But it's gonna take a money.
Michael's Flooring Outlet knows it takes money to invest in flooring for your home, but they care about that, and they make it a pillar of the customer service that they provide to you, which is to say that you're going to get quality flooring when you're shopping at Michael's.
but you're going to get great value with it as well. Look at their website, igotfloored.com. That's igotfloored.com. You can see all of the different types of products that they have available there, but you can also get a lot of reviews from Michael's Flooring Outlet. When you've been in business for 3 decades, you're going to have worked with a lot of people. You're going to learn a lot of things. You're going to really refine the process of satisfying St. Louis bi-state customers for all of those years. And you're going to make sure that it's right. And they're committed to that. You can see, like I said, the different types of products they have available and very easily request an estimate right there on their website at igotfloored.com. Michael's Flooring Outlet provides you the top brands, the Techwood Select and Plus lines of flooring, the Mohawk Smart Strand, the Silk that has superior performance for you if you're getting new carpet installed. And if you're a commercial place of business, of course, they're there to help you go through that process as well. Check out any of their 3 locations in St. Charles County, West County, and Darien Prairie online at igotfloored.com.
If you own a business or you're in management, you know there aren't enough hours in the day to keep up on the latest trends, learn about new products that can help you sell more, and network face-to-face. Well, here's the good news. You can do all of these things in one afternoon at the St. Louis Business Expo. On Tuesday, May 7th at the St. Charles Convention Center, why don't you come meet some people who could help your business grow and get caught up on the latest in marketing, tech, and more. Now, you have to RSVP to attend this free event, so just do that right now at stlexpo.com.
Diamonds Direct's spring sale is here. Shop now and get an extra 20% off Diamonds Direct's renowned prices. It's the best sale of the season. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. That's 20% off plus $100 off store-wide. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, engagement rings, and more. And enjoy an expanded selection with designer appearances each weekend. 20% off now to April 21st and open Sundays. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
Judge Mike Carter here to talk to you about my news talk program, Justice and Journalism with Judge Mike Carter. People ask, why is a judge a host of a news talk show? As a judge, I'm the neutral party that seeks to learn the truth and bring you the facts. Somewhere along the line, news shows lost that objectivity. Growing up, I can remember watching Walter Cronkite and knowing you could believe he didn't have a hidden agenda. Before I received my law degree and later became an elected judge for the past decade, I earned a master's degree in journalism at Mizzou, the very same journalism school Walter Cronkite attended. I was given a real appreciation for getting to the truth both as a judge and a journalist. Hence the name of my show, Justice and Journalism, with me, Judge Mike Carter. Here I focus on local newsmakers, personalities, and Missouri officials like Governor Parson, Lieutenant Governor Kehoe, Secretary of State Ashcroft, Attorney General Bailey, and many more. Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter, airs on Fox and ABC. You can also watch our past shows at MikeCarter.com, where we ask the questions and let you be the judge.
If you'd like to see more of Judge Mike Carter's interviews on his program, Justice and Journalism, visit MikeCarter.com.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's fixed over 40 million transmissions and that AMCO offers a nationwide warranty.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
That's AMCO, AA, MCO.
The Lifestyles Unlimited team of real estate investing mentors and educators want to meet you. Learn to retire in 5 years or less. In St. Louis, 2 days only, April 27th and 28th. Go to GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Promo code 2024.
The Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll of the day: which level is the most important to win in the November elections? 4 choices: local, state, congressional, or presidential. We know this is a hard one. We'd like to know what you think about it. It's the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. It is 12:47. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Shows that make a difference. Mark Cox, Brian Kilmeade, Annie Fry, Mark Reardon and Dana Lash, Heidi Harris, Wiggins America. Where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Wiggins.
Oh, Wiggins!
I'm very excited to bring you a new segment. I've been working on this. I'm going to play the open. It's called Today in Time Travel.
Today in time travel.
All right, what I have here is it's April 17th, 2024. I have pulled stories from April 17th in different years. And the years are 2023, so exactly 1 year ago today. 2020, so April 17th of 2020. 2017, and then exactly 10 years ago today, which would be April 17th, 2014.
Are you sure those are the possible answers?
I am sure. I am very sure.
We just did a game like this.
I thought
and
that
you
might
gave us
come
the
up.
wrong answers to pick from.
No, those are the right dates. And I'm going to read a headline. I want to see what you guys think, what year this was of those 3 years on this date. Here you go. First one, Lindsey Graham meets Joy Behar's challenge to name 3 things Trump did right on coronavirus.
Ooh. So that takes 2 of those off the board right away.
Not necessarily. It's prophetic. It is Joy Behar.
It probably
that lady knows what
wasn't-
she's talking about.
It probably wasn't 2014 or 17.
Yeah, I think 2020 is too easy. I'm going to go 2023. This
Okay.
is 1 year ago today.
Okay. Any guesses?
Are these all political?
They are what they are, Leah. Pick a
They
year.
are what they are. Yeah, I'm going to say they are what they are.
2023.
I'm going 2020.
2020. Okay, I'm writing all this down. Everybody's on the board. Here we go. Next one.
Oh, wait. You're going to
Oh, you want to know right now? That was 2020. Annie was correct.
either give us all of the headlines so we can purpose them or tell us as we go.
I liked making it hard on you. Okay, so Annie got that one correct. That was 2020. Can you believe that's basically 1 month in? Because if you start mid-March talking about this, that is 1 month into the pandemic. Lindsey Graham has to go onto The View to defend President Trump against all the things that The View was saying that he had botched on coronavirus.
Yeah, 1 month in, well, a little over a month in, but immediately that's where they went. It was political. It was President Trump's fault.
Yes, it was. The main point that Graham made was that the China travel restriction probably saved us a lot of headache. That was the main point he was making at the time. Next one.
Just like Joe Biden and the southern border.
That's right. Next one. New York City mayor to announce major overhaul of Superstorm Sandy recovery program.
I know this one.
You know this one?
I think so.
All right, I'm going to go after Annie.
No.
Leah goes first.
I have no idea. 2017.
2017, okay? New York City mayor talking about Superstorm Sandy recovery program.
Yeah, I think 2017.
17.
17. Everybody is incorrect.
14.
14 is correct. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio is planning to announce a major overhaul of the city's beleaguered program that was supposed to rebuild homes that were wrecked by Superstorm Sandy.
Did Chris Christie... yeah, that makes sense because Chris Christie's... Well, no. Maybe. Chris Christie's hug was what helped Obama win over Mitt Romney?
The hug?
Yeah, but that would have been 2012, right?
Yeah,
but that
it
was
was
that
it was a
Superstorm
Sandy. It was
Sandy.
that was what it was from. So anyway, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But I was thinking it was after the election, but it would have been Obama, not Trump.
Surprise, surprise, the government program meant to help people with recovery from Superstorm Sandy was not doing well. So that was exactly 10 years ago today, that story.
Wow.
All right, now 2 left. So tell me when these were, both, of course, April 17th. One of them will be 2023. One of them will be 2017. All of them from Fox News. Buttigieg points to how roads are designed and built as the reason for racial disparities in road fatalities.
Leah, what do you think?
2023.
I'm going to agree with Leah, 2023.
I don't know. Yeah, 2023.
It is 2023. Yeah, that was exactly, everybody remembers this story, I think.
Yeah.
This was exactly 1 year ago today. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg told MSNBC host Al Sharpton that he will continue to address racial disparities in roadway accidents under his position.
He also had a thing where he complained about the heights of bridges because those were racist because they kept minorities from getting to the beaches or something like that, from riding a bus to the beach.
Yeah, it's amazing. It says racial disparities continue to be a focus for Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, according to a recent appearance on MSNBC's Politics Nation. MSNBC host Al Sharpton sat down with Buttigieg and questioned him about his dedication to addressing inequality regarding road fatalities. So Al Sharpton was saying, I think you're not dedicated enough to this topic. And Pete Buttigieg was having to defend his record on making sure that everybody knew that that was basically the only reason he's there. All right, the last one. I think you may have figured it out by default. Will Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch recuse himself on the first day on the job?
2017.
Yep, you got it.
remember
It's
that.
the last one on the board. It's 2017. April 17th, 2017, he had just been sworn in. So this was, again, a master move by Mitch McConnell that worked. It's one of the main things we talk about with Mitch McConnell being effective, that he did this. Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch's first day on the high court's bench is likely to be a T.S. Eliot special, it says from Fox News. All whimper, no bang. They were talking about him recusing himself because there were some Obama administration officials in this case, and everybody was wondering whether he would do so. So there you go. There are the four stories. You guys did pretty good. 2017 being the last one there with Neil Gorsuch, of course. That was the beginning of many more Supreme Court nominees to come. So that one was the least crazy. The Brett Kavanaugh confirmation hearing is one that I think will stand out in American history for anybody who is alive. Remembers something about
Well,
that.
I remember, was it Alyssa Milano that was sitting in the back with a sign or something like that? It was wild. I know where I was whenever Susan Collins announced that she would be voting to confirm him. I could take you to the exact spot in the exact yard that I was cutting whenever I was listening to that, because you guys were carrying
Is
it
it a little
live.
shorter than the other ones? Did you pause?
I paused, but I never lowered the blades any farther. So,
Did that break through for you, Leah? Was that something that you remember?
What?
The Brett Kavanaugh hearing. I mean, I know you're not like a political junkie like we are.
Yeah, no.
So you weren't paying close attention to that one.
I didn't. I didn't start paying attention to politics till like 2020.
That was
So,
before that.
Yeah.
So
I want to remind y'all that the Mark Cox Morning Show Spring Bourbon Fling is tomorrow, 5:30 to 8 p.m. Go to the Clayton Wine House and sample some of the finest bourbons on the market with Mark Cox and Kim St. Ange. You can check all of that out at 971talk.com/events for more details. All tickets include a meet and greet with the team, tasting tables, and light appetizers. Get yours before they are all scooped up. 971talk.com/events. Let's talk to Deroy Murdock and Riley Gaines in the 1 o'clock hour. Very excited for it. We'll be right back.
Counselors is where we go when the police hassle us. Go to 45bucks.com.
This is Mike Carter, founder of 45bucks.com, or as you know it, Traffic Law Counselors. And right now, around tax time, we know folks are taking care of issues that they may have been putting off for a while. Maybe a driving while suspended or a warrant, things that you may have been worrying about for a little while. And we specialize in keeping folks' records clean. They come to us on a Monday, they can't drive, and by the end of that week on a Friday, we've got them back in the driver's seat driving legally. And that's very gratifying. And God forbid you're wrestling with something like a DWI, you can go to DWISTL.com. We got 10 paralegals and attorneys that are working on those cases nonstop, and depositions, trials, hearings, and we can put that to work for you as well. In fact, it's the enduring success of Traffic Law Counselors that has enabled us to be the preeminent DWI attorneys in St. Louis at DWISTL.com. So now you know, if you have a traffic matter, it's 45bucks.com. If you've got a DWI issue, it's DWISTL.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
if you own rentals, you need help doing all the work. I know that it's tempting if you're a handy person to do it all yourself, but it's going to cost you money in the long run because it's going to cost you time. I have rentals myself. This is Ryan Wiggins. Rapid Rental Renovations is one of the best companies that I have ever come across. MurphyCleanoutServices.com is their website. What they do is everything. They will do anything that you need. So you have a tenant move out and you just need the blinds replaced or locks replaced, whatever like that. They can do that stuff. But if they have trashed it, they can do everything. So one phone call can save you a ton of time. And I know what you're going to say. Yeah, but how much are they going to cost? I have gotten a bid from them now, and I'm telling you, it is really, really, really good. And so you don't have to worry about any of that stuff, time or money, with Rapid Rental Renovations. Go to murphycleanoutservices.com. You can text them pictures of your place right there. murphycleanoutservices.com.
Frustrated with slow internet speeds? Missouri is set to spend more than $1 billion to bring broadband internet to locations without service. You have until April 23rd to submit evidence that service has been incorrectly reported for locations that should be marked as unserved and eligible for funding. To check service reported for your home or business, go to broadbandmap.mo.gov. That's all one word, broadbandmap.mo.gov. Brought to you by the Missouri Department of Economic Development.
Our $79 garage door tune-up extended through April. Is your garage door old and whining for attention? Overhead Door Company of St. Louis will make it all better. They'll perform their full 26-task garage door tune-up for just $79, extended through April. That's just $79 for up to 3 garage doors and openers. You need this done once a year, so why not now? And for just $79. Schedule now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio, 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
U.S. senators become jurors on Lisa Brady, Fox News.
You will do impartial justice according to the Constitution and laws, so help you God.
Just sworn in a short time ago for the impeachment trial of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, though it could be tabled or dismissed quickly by Senate Democrats who have a narrow majority. House Republicans accuse Mayorkas of willfully violating immigration law. The head of Immigrations and Customs Enforcement is due at a hearing later this hour.
The acting director of ICE, Patrick Leckleitner, will appear before the House Appropriations Committee to appeal for the agency's operating budget for the next fiscal year. The budget approved by the House earmarked nearly $10 billion for ICE, including equipment, to help curb increased crossings at the southern border.
Fox's Gernal Scott. 4 months after an anti-Semitism hearing that led to resignations by the presidents of Harvard and UPenn, the president of Columbia University is telling House lawmakers her campus has had the same challenge as many others after the October 7th attack on Israel.
Trying to reconcile the free speech rights of those who wanted to protest and the rights of Jewish students to be in an environment free of discrimination and harassment.
Manoush Shafiq says they have new policies on demonstrations and more staff to investigate complaints now, though some Jewish students say they feel abandoned and not safe. And while Shafiq testifies in Washington, there's a protest on Columbia's New York City campus.
Pro-Palestinian demonstrators set up tents on the south lawn of the university early this morning, and these students are pledging to stay there until the university divests from companies with ties to Israel. According to social media posts we've been monitoring, right, these students are also protesting the suspension of 2 pro-Palestinian student groups.
Fox's C.B. Cotton. America is listening to Fox News.
Waiting on a tax return? Hopefully it ends up in your hands. Fraudulent tax returns due to identity theft increased by 30% in 2023. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. Our U.S.-based restoration specialists are experts dedicated to helping solve your identity theft issues. And all LifeLock plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package. So we'll reimburse you up to the limits of your plan if you lose money due to identity theft. Help protect your information this tax season with LifeLock. Save up to 25% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare information guide absolutely free. Call 800-919-3200. That's 800-919-3200. 800-919-3200.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Mild to warm temperatures this afternoon. Winds from the south, and it will be windy. Lots of sunshine. 79, 80. Tonight, clear skies, 52. Thursday, back to unsettled. A mix of clouds and sunshine. Some scattered showers and thunderstorms kicking up in the afternoon Thursday. Windy and 80. Evening showers and thunderstorms Thursday night. Here comes the northwest wind. 48 for the low. Friday, sunny and a cool 62. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It's what's happening.
Iran has attacked Israel
right now
from its own sovereign territory.
Keeping you informed.
Many world leaders on edge.
And up to date.
This is an issue that affects everybody around the world.
St. Louis is home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile. And the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time. There's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
You know, most people never get to sit down with elected officials and ask them about the important issues. I'm Judge Mike Carter, and that's exactly why I host the news talk program Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter. My goal is to bring those who represent us closer to the people they serve. I ask the questions you would in a no-nonsense manner. That's why we've been able to interview so many top local, state, and federal officials, because as a judge, I offer an unbiased, one-on-one conversation that's hard to find elsewhere these days. Besides serving as judge, I have a journalism degree, which is how the name of the show, Justice and Journalism, with me, Judge Mike Carter, evolved. You never know who we'll interview next, from Governor Parson to prosecutors, sports figures to Missouri business leaders. Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter, airs on Fox and ABC. You can also watch our past shows at MikeCarter.com, where we ask the questions and let you be the judge.
If you'd like to see more of Judge Mike Carter's interviews on his program, Justice and Journalism, visit MikeCarter.com. That's MikeCarter.com.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, IGotFloor.com.
More good news for Frederick Roofing, voted best roofing company by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
314-645-2000.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
I think what's going to happen is we're going to end up doing so well. We're way ahead in the polls against Biden. Biden has destroyed our country. Look, Biden is the worst president in the history of our country. Worse than Jimmy Carter by a long shot. Jimmy Carter's happy. because he's had a brilliant presidency compared to Biden. He's destroyed our country between the borders and everything else. He has destroyed our country. Not only that, wars are breaking out all over the world. We'll end up with this foolish person, this person that doesn't act. We're going to end up in a World War III. So we have to get rid of Biden.
Man, I got to ask. I've heard Chicago is MAGA country, but it kind of starting to sound like Harlem might actually be MAGA country. Donald Trump kind of locked up in the city of New York City. I hate when I say that. But he's there. He's on trial. He is basically at the whim of this judge who doesn't seem to be a big fan of his, certainly. But Trump's not supposed to talk about that. What's he going to do while he's got to spend his time in court there? He's going to go visit the bodegas in Harlem. Smart move. I wonder if it will have any political effect that might be reflected in November. Let's get to our guest. Deroy Murdock joins us once again, nationally syndicated columnist and Fox News contributor. Deroy, welcome back. It's good to have you here.
Annie, it's great to talk to you.
What did you think when you saw these crowds of people surrounding Donald Trump in Harlem, cheering for him, telling him they love him 4 more years? I mean, there's a magnetism to Donald Trump. It's certainly, in my opinion, that it's unmatched by any politician, but certainly if you compare it to the other guy in the race, Joe Biden, there's nothing, no comparison.
Yeah, absolutely. And this was quite something. I mean, this was not in, this was not in rural Pennsylvania or somewhere in Arizona where he might be more popular, what have you. This is in Harlem, which is one of the most hardcore Democrat places in the United States of America. And after his so-called hush money trial ended yesterday, he went up to Harlem at 139th and Broadway, went to the bodega where that gentleman by the name of, I think his last name was Alba, was confronted by a thug who was trying to rob him, and he stabbed and killed him. And Alvin Bragg, our soft on crime DA, wanted to lock him up. There was a huge public outcry, and he was set free, and he flew off to the Dominican Republic. And so Trump was invited by the Bodega Association to go visit that bodega. He did, and then he had this crowd of people, hundreds of people there, cheering him on, saying, "We love Trump, 4 more years." They broke into the Star-Spangled Banner, and they cheered and wanted pictures with him and this sort of thing. And he wasn't attacked or booed or hissed. He just got a tremendously positive ovation, and this for a man who the left would love to tell you is a racist, hates blacks, hates Hispanics, and all this other nonsense. And these predominantly black and Hispanic people up in Harlem were just cheering him on and thrilled to see him. So it was really quite astonishing, and goes completely against the narrative that left-wing media have been trying to paint here for pretty much since 2015.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Deroy Murdock with us right now. We have the Chick-fil-A visit in Atlanta. We have the Harlem visit yesterday and he is surrounded by people that are really enamored with his presence, who want to talk to him. I mean, like, they want to touch him. They want to hug him. They want to thank him. And in many cases, they are also very critical of Joe Biden, which is an important part of the equation here. It's not just about being like, oh, Donald Trump's larger than life. They have criticisms of the man who's currently in charge and has the job. How valuable to the campaign is it for Donald Trump to be, feet to feet, face to face with these voters in traditionally non-GOP stronghold locations?
Well, I think it's positive in a couple ways. One is by being around these folks who live in New York. I don't know if New York State is going to be in play, but the way things go in the state is if you are Republican and you can do quite well in Long Island, very well upstate, and then just not, get beaten up, but not, completely put into a coma in Manhattan, in New York City, and lose New York City, maybe, let's say 65-35 as opposed to 70-30 or 60-40, you could, or 80-20, I should say, you can actually win New York State. So if he can get himself to a situation where people in New York either vote for him in significant numbers, or just stay home and say, look, I'm not going to vote for Trump, but I can't vote for Biden. I'm going to skip the election. And you have people upstate and on Long Island turn out in big numbers, you actually can win in New York State. And even if it doesn't become a win, if Democrats have to spend time, Joe Biden has to spend time and money in New York State, that's time and money that he's not spending in Wisconsin or Michigan or Georgia or Arizona, for example. Number one. Number two, if you're Donald J. Trump and you're trapped basically in New York City because of this legal case, the visit up in Harlem, we're talking about it now. People in Illinois and Missouri are hearing about it. It was on television, on Fox News. It's online. It's popping up on all sorts of news feeds all over the country, and they're minority voters seeing this, saying, "Wow, I guess maybe he's not really such a racist." And you're also getting suburban women who are, such a swing group, if you will, seeing this guy very comfortable and being received and applauded by minority voters, and they're probably thinking, "Wow, I heard from Rachel Maddow and The View that he's a big racist, but he doesn't look like a racist. He's not being treated like a racist. Maybe Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and Rachel Maddow are lying to me. If they're lying to me about this, are they lying about other things?" And suddenly you see a lot of eyes open across the country who are nowhere near Harlem, but are getting this news all the way from Maine all the way down to San Diego and even off in Hawaii and Alaska.
Yeah. I think about that facade that has been created that surrounds Donald Trump and very consistently hammered in to American voters about who Donald Trump is. It's really been manufactured around him. How many things that have been alleged about Donald Trump, by the time we got to the point where we proved that the story wasn't true, nobody was covering that. They were on to the next hoax surrounding Donald Trump. If Donald Trump in these, which you can do this with social media now, I know a lot of people get their news on TikTok, which is, I guess, unfortunate, but to be able to turn the visuals of these grassroots experiences that Donald Trump is having, even in the city of in New York, it's like this, if they crack that facade, it seems like the whole house of cards for the Democrats would come crashing down.
Absolutely. And, he can do this without having to get on a plane. I mean, as long as he's trapped here in New York, I assume the court case will wrap up every day at about, 5:30, 6 o'clock. Get in his limousine and just drive off to different neighborhoods in New York. Go to Spanish Harlem, go to Brooklyn, go to Queens, go to Staten Island, go to the Bronx, greet people in front of Yankees games, what have you. And people will, the beauty is you don't even have to bring news cameras. People will break out their own cell phones, record this stuff, post these things on X and TikTok and Instagram, what have you. These things get picked up, they're viral. And then the news media, whether they're there or not, will pick up these videos and put them on air. And, he basically, essentially will be able to get a message out across the country without having to leave New York City, if in fact he's trapped here. So if I were Trump, I'd wrap up every day after the trial and go visit a different neighborhood and, spend time with black voters, Hispanic voters, with small business people, with sports fans, with athletes, joggers, bikers, whatever it is, and go to Central Park, and I think you'll see all these positive images come out, and they, if you will, humanize him, warm him up. The big nasty monster kind of looks like a fun, cool guy, and the whole facade, as you say, that the media built up of this mean, nasty, growling racist, all that stuff will fall away.
I think about the 2020 election vote totals, and people often forget that somehow or another, in the climate that Donald Trump was first a candidate, then the president of the United States, with everything that they threw at him, he still managed to get 8 million more votes or something like that. Like he is the highest vote-getting incumbent in the history of our country. Do you think that 8 million extra votes, do you think that that's something that can be built upon? Was 2020 a different year all around and how vote totals are going to come in? I mean, I can't imagine that many people are going to be inspired to go vote for Joe Biden this time around, but I'm wondering if Donald Trump will be able to retain those votes that he grew his electorate to and maybe build on top of it.
Yeah, I mean, if he can keep those votes and build on them, and then the people who voted for Joe Biden and are now disappointed and disillusioned, either don't vote for him or vote for Cornel West or vote for RFK Jr., or some of them, I guess, will transfer over and vote for Trump, then yeah, that could be the difference. And it's not just the 8 million you mentioned. I mean, really it comes down to who gets how many votes in swing states that will reach 270 electoral college votes. That could be a swing of just 1 or 2 or 300,000. So it's not really 8 million across the country as much as it's 50,000 in Arizona, 10,000 in Georgia, 75,000 in Michigan, that sort of thing. And if Trump can just get, I'm making round numbers here, but 100,000-ish in 8 swing states and be able to push himself up by that much, and Biden stays where he was back in 2020, you'll see the balloons and confetti coming down from the ceiling at Trump headquarters on November 5, 2024.
Deroy, if you add into the visuals that we see in Harlem, we saw it in Atlanta as well. These are the reason he's in these places is because he's on trial. It's hard to see news stories coming out of these cases. Most of the news stories just seem exponentially punitive towards Donald Trump. Of course, we know the gag order for that Manhattan judge that was applied to Donald Trump, while we know that the Cohens of the world on the other side are out blabbering all over the place with no fact-checking taking place at all. Do you think that resonates with American voters right now, even more so than just the general cases that are being levied against him?
I think you're right about that. I just wrote a piece that's posted on American Spectator. Headline, Trump's tongue is trapped in our two-track justice system, and it deals exactly with what you're talking about. This Judge Marchand in the so-called hush money case has slapped a gag order on Trump. He's not allowed to talk about other witnesses in the case. He's not allowed to discuss Judge Marchand's daughter, who works for a big Democrat campaign organization that's made about $18 million since the indictments were filed against Trump by DA Alvin Bragg here in Manhattan. The judge is completely conflicted. New York state law says you're not supposed to be a judge hearing a case if you have familial or blood ties to anybody who's related to the case at hand. And his daughter certainly is a blood relative, and she represents her campaign organization is doing work for Chuck Schumer, for the Senate Democrats, House Democrats, and, by the way, for Joe Biden. So this judge really should recuse himself. He's not. Instead, he's slapping a gag order on Trump, saying Trump can't discuss this. Well, as you say, at the meantime, it's not a gag order across the board for everybody in the case. Michael Cohen can go on CNN, MSNBC, and say whatever he wants, not under oath, so he can lie as much as he wishes, as he's been known to lie before. Stormy Daniels can go on TV and say whatever she wants. And Trump can't respond, and he's got he's got sort of a piece of masking tape over his mouth in violation of the First Amendment, in violation of general fairness. And as you say, I think a lot of voters will look at the unfairness of this, even people who may not necessarily support Trump, but think we have to have a fair justice system, and they'll look at this and realize how totally unfair it is. And I explain in greater detail in the American Spectator piece we just posted how unfair this is. I go into great detail on Marchand's conflicts, and then the different way that Democrats are treated when they verbally abuse or even physically threaten judges versus no threat on the part of Trump. And he's been told, sorry, keep your mouth shut. If you keep talking like this, we're going to throw you in jail. It's unbelievable. It's like something out of another country altogether.
Yeah. And if you're watching this as an American citizen, you just think to yourself, man, I hope I'm never in that position where that type of action could be taken against me, because it does seem incredibly unfair. And we do need justice.
Absolutely.
Deroy, thank you for being with us. We always love to speak with you.
All right, Annie, great to talk to you. Thanks very much.
Talk to you again soon. Deroy Murdock, nationally syndicated columnist, The American Spectator, with his latest piece. I encourage you to check it out. Fox News contributor as well. His weekly hits with us, I always appreciate his perspective. He's always there in New York City, and he sees a lot of these things up close and personal, so it's going to be extra helpful while we are watching this Manhattan trial unfold. We're going to take a quick break. Our next guest on The Annie Frey Show, Miss Riley Gaines. What a pleasure to have her on with us here on 97.1 FM Talk. In just a few minutes, she is host of Outkick's Gaines for Girls podcast, and I'm very excited to have a conversation with Riley Gaines when we come back. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
RulerFoods.com, shopping for groceries, household items as well. You're going to save when you go to Ruler Foods. Where's the Ruler Foods that's closest to you? The one that's closest to me is in Collinsville, Illinois, and we frequent that Ruler Foods to stock up and save on the things that my family loves. And when you got 6 people in your house, that's a lot of things. I appreciate that Ruler Foods' everyday prices are low. I appreciate that they carry the name brands that my family loves. We get a lot of that mac and cheese, you know what I'm talking about? And the family loves it. It's easy to make. Somebody said to me yesterday, like, is that really healthy for your kids? I said it's mentally healthy for the parents who need to make something fast and make sure the kids are fed. We can shop at Ruler Foods and save each time we fill our cart up, and we can fill our cart up at Ruler Foods. 5-count Kroger boneless pork chops or thin sliced chicken breast, 1 1/4 pounds, $5 each. They have a pint of blueberries or 6 ounces of blackberries, $1.49 each. You can also save on that lean ground beef. Kroger 80% lean ground beef, sold in 3-pound rolls, $2.99 a pound. And how about getting some of those Boston ferns for your front porch now that spring has officially sprung? While supplies last, $12 each. Find the Ruler Foods closest to you at rulerfoods.com.
Experience the beauty of custom-crafted windows that enhance your home's aesthetics and energy efficiency. Look no further than Infinity from Marvin, proudly brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. Why choose Infinity? These windows are not just strong, they're 8 times stronger than vinyl, providing unmatched security for your home. Plus, with Lakeside's expert installation, you're guaranteed precision and perfection. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today. Elevate your home with Infinity from Marvin, where strength meets style.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
Tired of those pesky moments when you're streaming your favorite shows? Well, say hello to i3 Broadband's 100% fiber optic network with parental controls. You can manage your kids' screen time, filter content, and keep an eye on their online adventures. All with no annual contracts or hidden fees. Just insanely fast internet and a no-risk 30-day money-back guarantee. Call 877-976-0711 or log on to i3broadband.com/STL. We're local, reliable, and proud to serve St. Louis.
Judge Mike Carter here to talk to you about my news talk program, Justice and Journalism with Judge Mike Carter. People ask, why is a judge a host of a news talk show? As a judge, I'm the neutral party that seeks to learn the truth and bring you the facts. Somewhere along the line, news shows lost that objectivity. Growing up, I can remember watching Walter Cronkite and knowing you could believe he didn't have a hidden agenda. Before I received my law degree and later became an elected judge for the past decade, I earned a master's degree in journalism at Mizzou, the very same journalism school Walter Cronkite attended. I was given a real appreciation for getting to the truth both as a judge and a journalist. Hence the name of my show, Justice and Journalism, with me, Judge Mike Carter. Here I focus on local newsmakers, personalities, and Missouri officials like Governor Parson, Lieutenant Governor Kehoe, Secretary of State Ashcroft, Attorney General Bailey, and many more. Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter, airs on Fox and ABC. You can also watch our past shows at MikeCarter.com, where we ask the questions and let you be the judge.
If you'd like to see more of Judge Mike Carter's interviews on his program, Justice and Journalism, visit MikeCarter.com.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Is yours? Did you know that there's an R value associated with insulation? To find out your R value or for a free insulation estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
With the first pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Indiana Fever select Caitlin Clark, University of Iowa.
So, of course, Caitlin Clark gets drafted number 1 to the WNBA. I have said this on the show many times. I was a 4-sport athlete through my senior year of high school. I didn't go and play on collegiately. I have 4 kids. My oldest is my son, of course, but then I have 3 daughters. My 11-year-old, I coach her in volleyball, coach her in basketball. She is constantly working to compete and to be better. And what Caitlin Clark has done to draw attention and a lot of discussion, of course, to women's sports, I would say is only rivaled by one other female athlete. that we hear a lot from, and we are very excited to welcome Riley Gaines onto the Annie Fry Show today. She's the host of Outkick's Gaines for Girls podcast, and we are very excited to be speaking with you today, Riley. Thanks for being here.
Well, thank you so much, Annie. I'm thrilled to be on with you.
I have been watching your story, and I don't know what it's like for swimming. I've never been a swimmer. I admire swimmers for the fitness that you have to have and the competition level that you have to have. Your story is a very interesting one to me because I knew your story before I knew your name. When the Leah Thomas thing was happening, everybody knew Leah Thomas's name. Not everybody knew Riley Gaines' name yet, but everybody is still talking about Riley Gaines because you've brought this story into the forefront. And as a mom of 3 girls that I expect to be active in sports, I just want to tell you thank you for not backing down to the pressures that are out there right now trying to silence your voice.
Well, you're so sweet. It's it's girls like your daughters that, I mean, that's what we're fighting for. This isn't about me. It's not about, me continuing to compete. I'm done swimming. No one wants to see me swim. I'd probably drown if I got in a pool now.
Probably not.
But it's for girls like your daughter or girls like my younger sister, who's an elite level gymnast who will go on to college and do amazing things. That's exactly why we fight the fight we're fighting.
Yeah, I agree with that. And we have to have a specific goal. I think that one thing that you've been able to do for this fight is kind of define what the battlefield is because, we had a Supreme Court justice confirmation hearing where Marsha Blackburn, senator from Tennessee, said, can you tell us what a woman is? And she was like, no, I'm not a doctor. Like, that is absurd. That is absolutely crazy to hear, but it's kind of a broad, you can set it aside on the broad, no pun intended, that's funny, political conversation that doesn't really hit home. Your story hits home. Where do you think that people can squarely focus their attention on making sure that girls like my daughter and like your sister, where do we need to be focusing our attention right now to speak truth to the idea out here that you're like a hateful person if you don't agree with letting men compete with women?
What a crazy statement. And to your point about our wonderful sitting Supreme Court justice who couldn't answer what a woman is because she claimed she wasn't a biologist. Guess what, Annie? I'm not a veterinarian, but I know what a dog is. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my whole entire life. We are seeing this, what I would call this systemic overall erasure of women happening at every single level. Of course, at the tippy top, the federal level, right? The people leading this country, the people in the White House right now, they're actively rewriting Title IX, changing its definition entirely. Of course, Title IX is the federal civil rights law that prevents discrimination on the basis of sex. That ultimately, it's a very broad piece of legislation, but most notably known for giving women the opportunity to compete and succeed in sports. Our administration is what I would call this is an abomination. So you can see it there. Of course, you can see the privacy aspect of things in areas, like locker rooms or bathrooms where women are being entirely violated. They are non-consensually being exploited in areas of undressing. And I can certainly speak to this as someone who had to undress next to a 6'4" man who was fully intact, fully exposing himself, again, inches away from where we were simultaneously undressing. You can see this issue happening in sororities. You have men joining these sororities, saying they're women. These girls are, they're promised sisterhood. They're getting the brother they never wanted. Of course, in prisons, you can see this, even this attack on our language, right?
Yeah.
We talked about the Supreme Court justice, but even just yesterday, Governor Katie Hobbs of Arizona, which, of course, it's a woman. Women have proven time and time again to be our own worst enemy. But Governor Katie Hobbs vetoed a piece of legislation that would do nothing other than define and codify the word woman and other sex-based terms like male, female, even sex itself. It would define those terms in state statute. And Governor Katie Hobbs was actually the third female governor to veto this legislation.
Yeah, it's a head scratcher. I wonder when you were getting in the pool next to Leah Thomas is beating you, although you actually competed with her. It's always funny to listen to you explain how non-successful he was when he competed with men versus how you almost outswam him and what you tied him the one time where you were supposed to be on the podium. I think you talk about this on the Joe Rogan podcast. I watched that one and listened to you as you explained, like, you got one trophy and you guys have a tie. Like, how often do you tie in swimming? It seems like it's not something that would happen very frequently.
No, it's very rare. Of course, this is a sport that's measured down to the 100th of a second. When you're racing for a minute and 40 seconds and not even 1/100th separated us, that's rare to say the least. Which I would call it divine intervention is what it was. And secondly, it's incredibly embarrassing for a 6'4" man. He can't even be a 5'5" girl.
Yeah, it's when I was listening to you talk about that, and you were explaining the presentation, the podium, that ceremony or whatever that takes place afterwards, it was clear that they chose him over you. It was clear that there was something more important than, in sports, the thing that most people like about sports, the thing I like about sports is there are winners and losers. You know where you rank. You know where you stand. You know if you lose that you got to get better by, a 10th of a second or 40 yards or whatever it might be. And they chose Leah Thomas over you. And I think that you had said in that Joe Rogan conversation something about you questioned whether you should have gotten in the pool to begin with.
Of course. This was, I'll take you to my mindset this day. Look, I swam, my whole life. I started swimming when I was 4, graduated when I was 22. So, that means I dedicated 18 years of my life to my sport. So it's, saying it's a lifelong journey is an understatement. But it was this debacle, do I get in the water? Do I participate in the farce ultimately? And I had decided in that moment, I didn't think it was right for me to not compete. Like I said, the sacrifices, the time, the hours, the dedication that I put in. I wanted to compete. This was the last meet of my 18-year career. But looking back now, seeing, of course, the severity of this issue, seeing the trajectory of this issue as it continues to happen across the country, really across the world, at every level, every sport, every division, every state, I wish I would have made a more concerted effort to getting girls to not get in that pool. That's ultimately what needs to happen. At the time, I thought our leaders, right, the people in authority positions would stand up for us. But now I realize what a naive thought that was, to wait for people to do the right thing unprovoked. We'd be waiting for forever.
Yeah. Isn't it, we're speaking with Riley Gaines right now, isn't it so frustrating, especially in a situation like that? You're young. There are people in charge, the NCAA. You would think that there would be somebody who would step up and say, obviously, there's a right and a wrong here. And in the same conversation, you don't have to, that doesn't automatically imply that you hate the person that is not going to be qualified to swim in that particular race. But you have to assess what is fair. That's what NCAA sports is always doing, is rules and making sure that the competitions aren't tilted or slanted or favored in one way or the other. And you sit around and you wait for someone to do the right thing, and no one shows up. And your thought was, or at least you should have worked on trying to get people to protest that swim along with you. Do you give that advice right now to parents across the country if their daughter is in a volleyball match, if their daughter is in a basketball game or a track meet, and they're put in a position to compete against a biological male? Are you suggesting those families should sit it out?
You know what I do, which, again, I know better than anyone it's easier said than done. And it's not a position that anyone should have to be in, especially even talking with girls as young as elementary school, middle school. It's a position that no one should have to be in. But ultimately, sacrifices have to be made at some point. And if this is not the hill that you are willing to die on, then what in the world is? This to me is so fundamental, and again, so much broader than just the effects of not getting the trophy or whatever those implications are from a tangible visual standpoint, this is about principles at this point. This is, monumental to life as we know it, not to exaggerate the issue, not to make it seem larger than what it is. But the premise here is that we're denying objective truth, of course, biblical truth, but objective truth, biological reality, the most basic of truths at that. That is why this is so important to me. So yes, I do think it's necessary to see girls stand down, to see parents take a stand, parents who are willing to defend their daughters. We mentioned being failed by the NCAA and, of course, our specific universities. But I believe even parents of these athletes who continue to be impacted, especially young girls, they're failing their daughters as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a really incredibly hard thing to do, to put as much work and effort into something to compete. And, you were doing it at a very high level when you were collegiately swimming. But as a middle school mom right now, you put in a lot of time and effort. Nobody knows about it except for your small circle of people. But when you do see situations in high schools where biological boys are participating, what we keep hearing from people is it's not happening that much. And it's like, I need to know, how many times does it need to happen before we care about it? And why would we sit silently while we are seeing it happen across the country and let it expand to a position where, now it is affecting so many different people? Your message of not suffering the foolishness surrounding this issue, I think, is an important one. It's an incredibly hard one, but I think your words on it are very necessary for people to hear. I want to ask you one last question, Riley, before we let you go. And I want to remind people that you have a podcast with Outkick, Gains for Girls. Please, folks, go check it out and subscribe and listen to more of what Riley's doing, because you're a pioneer here in a weird way, making women be notified for being, or known for being, women. Do you have people who come up to you and quietly speak their support for you? That's always my question for someone like you that's doing something that is a little bit trailblazing and controversial. I'm wondering if you get a lot of quiet support.
Every single day, every single day, which, of course, I'm always honored to have supportive people. I have people who come up and say, look, I'm a mom, I have daughters. Thank you for doing what you're doing. I can't do anything because, I work a corporate job, but you keep going. Or I'll have athletes come up or message me privately, some athletes who we all know, very renowned, famous, professional athletes who say, yeah, you keep going. But, I can't join you. I've got sponsorships. I've got endorsements or what have you. This is my livelihood, but you keep taking those arrows. And I just want to shake them. Again, I understand the position they're in. I understand the risk and the threats because honestly, they're real. They really are. But this would be over so quickly if we could unite, lock arms, and stand together. Take away the red versus blue of it all. If we could just stand together, this would be over almost immediately. But people are terrified.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's never going to change if people aren't willing to take those risks. And the way to take those risks is to weigh what we're sacrificing by not speaking up. And Riley, you, like I said, you're leading the charge in this. And I'm sad that people had to so nationally learn your name through the deal that you've had to go through. But I am very grateful that you weren't willing to shut up or to go along with it, because the going along with it has gotten us so far down the slippery slope. And watching you try to fight back against it is very inspiring. Riley, thanks for being with us today. It's a real pleasure to speak with you.
Well, thank you. And be sure to tell your daughters I say hi.
Oh, my gosh. They will just love that. They know who you are, and I will make sure that they've heard that. Riley, thank you so much. We'll talk to you again maybe sometime soon.
You got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. She is the host of Outkick's Gains for Girls, and she's got a book as well, Swimming Against the Current. It's coming out next month. So check out that book, Swimming Against the Current, and support Riley. She needs our support, and I'm not saying that I wouldn't know in a financial way. She needs our support in a, we're with you and we're supporting you. We're actively participating in fighting to keep common sense common. And Riley Gaines has been doing that. She's fearless. It's really, fun's not the right word, because it's regretful that we have to be at this place, but it is inspiring to watch her just march straight into the storm of what is going on culturally right now with a very honest place that she's coming from. Riley Gaines here on the Annie Fry Show. Quick break. When we come back, let's talk a little bit more about our YouTube live chat poll. Which level is the most important to win in the November elections? Is it local, state, congressional, or presidential? Go to the Annie Fry channel on YouTube and let us know what your vote is. It's right there in the live chat section of today's live broadcast, and leave a comment if you so choose. We'll be right back.
Stop till we're legend. Here we go, here we go. It's my turn to make history. Here we go. When I'm gone, they'll remember me. Yeah, a dreamer with the fever to be great was all I ever want, was all I ever wanted. A fighter with the fever for the fame was all I ever want, was all I ever wanted. Got me singing like bang.
Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan, 314-324-4440. Purchasing a home is made simple when you make the smart decision to connect with Stewart's American Mortgage. He's got the Bagel Loan. He's the only one with the Bagel Loan. And he calls it the Bagel Loan because bagels look like what? Zeros. And you pay zero in closing costs that other lenders out there are going to charge you for. They are there to walk you through the process to make sure you understand top to bottom how these fees don't exist. He doesn't roll them into the loan. You don't have to deal with them later. They're not there. This can save you thousands of dollars on your mortgage that you're acquiring for your new home purchase. But at the same time, if you're looking to do a mortgage refinance, you might be able to qualify for a bagel loan there as well. I've done it twice and was able to secure a lower rate a few years ago each time that I did the bagel loan refinance. And you could do that too. If you had to purchase your home when mortgage rates were crazy high, they might have come down a little bit since then. Don't sleep on the idea of getting that lower rate locked in for you for the length of your mortgage. 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. You can Google the Bagel Loan for more info. NMLS number 226715.
This time of year again, where we all should be, we should all be calling our companies and making sure our air conditioners are in running order, and do the best you can to make sure that they don't break down this summer. It's only $89 if you call us to have us do it. But let's just say that you've had that done and a company says you need a new system. Sucks, but without a question, you get another opinion, get another price. I can promise you, without a question, if you call me for a second opinion based on what my customers say for the second opinion, you'll be happy you did. Call me. It's Bart Inman. One easy number, Missouri and Illinois. 314-293-2600. Missouri and Illinois. Or on the internet, bartinman.com. Now that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Mortgage rates have finally dropped. That's right. Golden Oak has 5.375% fixed rates available right now. Our average cash-out customer saves over $1,000 a month. Call today and take advantage of our 5.375 fixed rate. Call 314-567-GOLD. That's 314-567-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
5.934 APR. FHA 15-year 20% equity qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
You entrusted a nursing home with the care of a loved one, but they violated that trust. If your family member has been the victim of nursing home neglect, call Onder Law at 844-BEDSORE.
The Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll of the day.
Which level is the most important to win in November in these elections? Local, state, congressional, or presidential? I'd like to know what you think about this. You got 4 choices there. Let us know in the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. 147. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Don't miss the Mark Cox Morning Show's Spring Bourbon Fling at Clayton Wine House. Join me and Kim April 18th from 5:30 to 8. We'll sample New Riff, Old Dominic, Oak and Eden, and more. Get your tickets now before they're gone at 971talk.com/events.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Got me racing off track, tailpipes burning up like a smokestack, breaking my heart 'cause she never looked back. Oh, 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 oh. Bought every lie she ever sold me, like a wet blanket I let her hold me. Now I'm laying here with no one to hold me. Oh, 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 oh. I said, hey. I said, oh. I said, hey, ho, hey, ho, hey, ho. There she goes, goes, my girl.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. The Mayorkas impeachment trial has begun in the Senate, and we're going to throw to Chad Pergram right here real quick to give us the latest of what's going on in the Senate.
They are not allowed to have debate among senators during an impeachment trial. If you look back at the Senate impeachment rules, which were agreed to back in the 1980s, that's not allowed. The only thing that they can do is debate the articles of impeachment in a closed session. We've seen that in recent Senate impeachment trials in the past couple of years, and that's what Ted Cruz was trying to do, to put the Senate into a closed session to debate this. Again, we're in a very unique parliamentary construct right now, this court of impeachment, and so the rules are a little bit different. And so what they were trying to do was get a vote on putting the Senate into that closed session to debate that. But as I always say, it's about the numbers, it's about the math. If all 51 senators who caucus with the Democrats prevail here, they can basically beat back any point of order or any motion that Ted Cruz or any of the other Republicans had offered. And you noticed, Senator Schumer, the majority leader, raising his voice just a little bit there, and part of the reason was, and that little bit of that was for show, frankly, because he wants to indicate, I gave you guys an opportunity to have an hour of debate on the floor. Again, you can agree to that via unanimous consent with all 100 senators agreeing to something, to actually have debate on the floor, giving you 7 points of order on one article of impeachment that Mayorkas violated the public's trust, 1 point of order and an hour of debate on the second article of impeachment that he broke the law, and then proceed. Republicans objected to that. That was the objection by Eric Schmidt, the Republican senator from Missouri, and that's why they kind of got into that stasis. There was a lot of confusion on the Senate floor when we last visited just a couple of minutes ago here, because people didn't know what they were trying to do. They weren't sure which way to move because this isn't a typical Senate session. So after they finished calling the roll there, they got things back on track just a little bit to hear from some of the Republican senators offering their points of order, and that's why we have this procedural vote right now to vanquish what Ted Cruz was trying to do under Senate Impeachment Rule 24, which allows for you to have a private session and debate the articles of impeachment. So this is probably the first of several other round-robin votes we'll have this afternoon. But again, the end is a fait accompli. If the Democrats all stick together, and they have all 51 senators who caucus with the Democrats, I say it that way because there's 2 independents in the Democratic caucus, Bernie Sanders of Vermont and Angus King of Maine, then they will be able to finish this trial. And again, there will not be a final up-down verdict. There will be a motion to dismiss. And the other thing that's important here, Chuck Schumer earlier tipped his hand a little bit here. He says, we'll have to vote to end the court of impeachment. There's a final vote at the very end to go back to being the regular Senate, and that's something that everybody would have to agree to, too. But that's why it's so important that Chuck Schumer wants full attendance on the Senate floor, so everybody is there and he has the votes, because remember, it is a narrowly divided Senate. And if you have somebody who's down the hall, somebody who's out meeting with a constituent, that creates a problem. You're supposed to remain on the Senate floor and in your seat, maybe drinking your milk, as we alluded to earlier, as you hear the Senate impeachment proceedings. But again, these are just points of order that they're making, and we're probably going to have some of these other roll call votes where they go through the entire roll alphabetically and then end. And it'll probably go a little bit faster than some of the other roll call votes we have because they have all the senators present.
Okay.
And then we'll see what else the Republicans have up their sleeve.
Chad, does Ted Cruz come back, or do we move to someone else?
He could. Again, it's kind of, a unique situation. It could
so
be
I'm going to
him.
interrupt them
We
here
heard that
real
Mike
quick
Braun-
because Senator John Kennedy, boy, would that be news. Senator John Kennedy was just speaking, and I'd kind of be curious to hear what he was saying on the Senate floor as they are discussing whatever parliamentary thing that they need to do to move this Mayorkas impeachment trial along or to dismiss it. Let's listen into Senator Kennedy.
Second, the clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Baldwin. Mr. Barrasso. Mr.
All right, so maybe we don't have that. All right, well, maybe we'll get to it later. Sorry about that. There's a lot of maneuvers. This is where, everyone wants to know, like, is the Senate going to impeach Mayorkas? Likely no. That's likely not going to happen. Boy, would it be interesting if it did. And if I've heard a lot of Republican people suggest, like if it's just wasting time, if the Senate isn't going to actually get rid of Mayorkas, that this is a waste of taxpayer dollars. It isn't. Because right now we have the opportunity to see who is going to permit the ways of Mayorkas and the DHS secretary and his office to continue to manage the crisis. It'd be nice if they would identify it, which recently in a hearing, he did confess that there was a crisis at the southern border. It's important that voters know where their House representatives stand on the issue, and it's important that they know where their senators stand on the issue. I mean, I could use the state of Illinois as an example. We have 2 Democrat senators who are certainly going to vote with the Democrats on whatever it is that they decide to do or however they try to maneuver this out of the Senate without having a hearing on it. Do you think the people in Chicago right now who are watching migrants flood into the city of Chicago and take over their buildings and their taxpayer-funded resources, do you think that they want to see their senators support this type of behavior to continue in this country, or do you think that they would? I think that there are some people who would like to see somebody put a stop to it. I think there are people who would like to see somebody take control of the situation because the president of the United States has refused to do it. We've heard him say it before. We know where Joe Biden is on this issue. We've heard how he has abdicated his responsibilities on this issue. He's been very clear.
With executive authority, or is there more you could do? Absent
That's not all I can do. Give me the power. I've asked for the very day I got in office. Give me the border patrol. Give me the people. Give me the people, the judges. Give me the people who can stop this and make it work for us.
He's saying there, he's asked, what about your executive authority? Is there anything you can do? And he said, I have asked from the day that I got into office for them to give me the power. Well, no, sir, you haven't. We've heard you put Kamala Harris as the border czar. She went down to the triad countries and said, don't come. That big famous Biden policy of don't. And then they did. It's almost as if they came in larger numbers faster across the southern border after the Biden administration did the token, not even go to the border, but go to these other countries and say, don't come. They absolutely came. Do you remember back during the debates when Joe Biden opened the country up? He said, elect me, and he's telling people to come. That's the opposite of don't. They listened to him that time before he was actually the president. The southern border is probably the most bipartisan issue facing American voters right now. And if the Democrats punt on this, they should own it in November. Quick break. We'll come back in just a few minutes. Don't go away.
Had a pair of lips like Angelina.
Traffic law counselors is where we go when the police hassle us. Go to 45bucks.com.
This is Mike Carter, founder of 45bucks.com, or as you know it, Traffic Law Counselors. And right now, around tax time, we know folks are taking care of issues that they may have been putting off for a while. Maybe a driving while suspended or a warrant, things that you may have been worrying about for a little while. And we specialize in keeping folks' records clean. They come to us on a Monday, they can't drive, and by the end of that week on a Friday, we've got got them back in the driver's seat driving legally. And that's very gratifying. And God forbid you're wrestling with something like a DWI. You can go to DWISTL.com. We got 10 paralegals and attorneys that are working on those cases nonstop, and depositions, trials, hearings, and we can put that to work for you as well. In fact, it's the enduring success of traffic law counselors that has enabled us to be the preeminent DWI attorneys in St. Louis at DWISTL.com. So now you know, if you have a traffic matter, it's $45bucks.com. If you've got a DWI issue, it's DWISTL.com.
Choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Shop at the Diamond Shop in April and save. This is such a great opportunity to save on something beautiful from the Diamond Shop. 40% off all color stone jewelry, 30% off all in-stock jewelry, and 10% extra off these sales if you become a VIP. When you go online to their website at thediamondshop.net, when you scroll to the bottom, there's a super easy form to fill out. Become a VIP and save an extra 10%. They are located in Clayton. They've been in St. Louis since 1910. They are serving people like you, and in many cases, generationally, helping families find the very perfect piece to mark the occasion. Engagement rings, wedding rings, anniversary pieces. My husband bought me 6 years ago a set of pearls from the Diamond Shop, and I love these pearls. It's going to be something I could hand down to my daughters at some point, and I trust the people at the Diamond Shop to do the trick. Find them online at thediamondshop.net.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's corporate cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor, and Ramp software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now, get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. RAMP.com/free.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
A trial begins on Capitol Hill. Lisa Brady, Fox News.
The Senate will proceed to consideration of the articles of impeachment against Alejandro N. Mayorkas, Secretary of Homeland Security.
But senators may not serve as jurors for very long. Majority Leader Chuck Schumer proposing to allow some debate on the impeachment articles as Republicans push for a full trial.
And they're going to make points of order that they want to have Alejandro Mayorkas, the Homeland Security Secretary, answer some of these impeachment charges. There's a couple of different proposals that were propounded by Mike Braun, Republican of Indiana, also Mike Lee, Republican of Utah. And if they try to put some of these motions forward here, Chuck Schumer will probably move to table or dismiss.
Fox's Chad Pergram on the Hill. President Biden now backing the House Speaker's new plan to advance aid to Israel and Ukraine.
The president says he strongly supports a House package to provide aid to Israel and Ukraine, along with humanitarian assistance to Palestinians in Gaza and bolster security in the Indo-Pacific. House Republican leaders have unveiled a series of bills totaling about $95 billion for Israel, Ukraine, and Taiwan. Votes are expected Saturday evening. In a statement, President Biden urges the House to pass the package this week and the Senate to follow up quickly to send a message that the United States stands with our friends and won't let Iran or Russia succeed.
Fox's Jared Halpern in Washington. Back-to-back hearings on Boeing safety, with lawmakers hearing company whistleblower Sam Salpour's concerns about the manufacturing process.
I have analyzed Boeing's own data to conclude that the company is taking manufacturing shortcuts on the 787 program that may significantly reduce the airplane safety.
This as investigations continue over recent incidents involving other models of Boeing jets. The company is denying claims about a toxic environment of retaliation against employees. America is listening to Fox News.
Waiting on a tax return? Hopefully it ends up in your hands. Fraudulent tax returns due to identity theft increased by 30% in 2023. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. Our U.S.-based restoration specialists are experts dedicated to helping solve your identity theft issues. And all LifeLock plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package. So we'll reimburse you up to the limits of your plan if you lose money due to identity theft. Help protect your information this tax season with LifeLock. Save up to 25% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare information guide absolutely free. Call 800-919-3200. That's 800-919-3200. 800-919-3200.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Mild to warm temperatures this afternoon. Winds from the south, and it will be windy. Lots of sunshine. 79, 80. Tonight, clear skies, 52. Thursday, back to unsettled. A mix of clouds and sunshine. Some scattered showers and thunderstorms kicking up in the afternoon Thursday. Windy and 80. Evening showers and thunderstorms Thursday night. Here comes the northwest wind. 48 for the low. Friday, sunny and a cool 62. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
WindowWorld.com. That's the easy website to go to and shop for your window replacements. Have you gone to the website yet? Because WindowWorld.com will help you navigate all the questions that you might have about replacement windows for your home and your place of business, if you so choose. You can call them at 314-993-1800 to speed up that process. If you know it's something you have to do, if you've got a broken window or it's just way past time. 314-993-1800 and get the conversation started right away. Window World is committed to giving you a quality window replacement that doesn't sacrifice value. In just over 20 years in business, they've improved the look and thermal efficiency of over 72,000 customers in St. Louis. And they've also been owned, operated, and managed by a group of born and raised St. Louis residents locally here for 21 years. Plus. So if you are looking to shop local and you want the windows that are simply the best for less, you reach out to Window World at 314-993-1800, or you call them online at you go online at windowworld.com.
You wouldn't trust a butcher to babysit your pet pig. You wouldn't trust a lumberjack to repair your antiques. Or a professional wrestler to be your massage therapist. So why would you trust anyone but AMCO to fix your car? For over 50 years, we've been the trusted experts in transmission repair.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
AAMCO.
Listen, you've been making house payments for years, right? And right now, your home's value has never been higher, right? That means you're likely sitting on a small fortune in equity. Good for you. That's cash that you could use to help secure your retirement, solve all your financial burdens, enable you to travel, everything you want. The catch is, you're not ready to move. No problem. You don't have to with the TrueHold Sell and Stay Leaseback program. This is a genius financial strategy. You sell your home to TrueHold while its value is high. You bank all that equity in cash now, and you can stay as long as you like with an easy, affordable lease. And TrueHold pays property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. TrueHold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Get a TrueHold offer now while your home's value is sky high. Call 1-855-300-9993. That's 1-855-300-9993. Or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out without moving out. TrueHold.com.
Don't pay retail for your diamond engagement ring or gift. Come to CleanOrigin.com. We're experts in ecologically friendly lab-grown diamonds. Mention code RADIO10 for 10% off. That's CleanOrigin.com online or one of our retail stores.
You found 97.1 FM Talk, where we ask questions, even when the legacy media won't. Especially when the legacy media won't.
St. Louis is home for conservative talk.
97.1 FM Talk. The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show, the YouTube live chat poll for today, the Annie Fry YouTube channel. Which level is the most important to win in the November elections? Which level of government do you deem to be the most important? Local government, state government, congressional government, or presidential? Go vote and let us know why you think the way you did. I'm going to read some of your responses there shortly. A lot of people weighing in on this one today and a lot of different thoughts on the issue. Right now, we are watching as after I guess it was a couple days ago, yesterday, when the articles of impeachment were delivered from the House to the Senate. They have now convened so that they can take up that impeachment and determine. There's so much procedure that goes on in these things. It is nerd stuff, like way out of my nerddom of government. When I like to take in, the civics of how our country functions and all of the limitations that are put on government and the process being made to be so glacially slow to get things done in government, I like that. I respect that, because the more rapid you can get things through government, the faster the government can screw us. And I don't want that to happen. But I don't need to watch all this procedural stuff. It's kind of boring. I just want to know, are they going to take it up or are they not going to take it up? And I think we all know they're not going to take it up. But it'll be interesting to see if there are any Democrats that break the ranks and, say something or articulate something that shows that they have seen this issue of border security and the terrible job that Alejandro Mayorkas has done as the DHS secretary, that we're keying in on the issue being something that needs the attention that it deserves. So we'll watch this and we'll see if anything happens, but I'm not going to take you to roll call votes that are not even for things that are ultimately going to determine where this case immediately goes. Just a lot of procedural stuff. There's an interesting article here on Fox News. Former Attorney General Bill Barr slammed New York prosecutors for the, quote, obviously political Trump hush money case, calling it an abomination as jury selection continues in the landmark trial. Barr, who led the Department of Justice under the former President Trump, argued the case signals what the real threat to democracy is, in his opinion, the excesses of the progressive left. Bill Barr, I don't know that there are like pen pal notes being exchanged between Mr. William Barr and Donald Trump, but anytime he comes out and says something like this, I do kind of lean into it. I see Bill Barr as somebody who wasn't seeing the election results the way Donald Trump was and was not willing to go along with it in any way, shape, or form. And I don't disrespect him for that, but I know he rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and the way he exited towards the very, very end of Donald Trump's presidency. I don't think that you can look at the hush money trial and everything else and say, I don't know anyone who can look and say there's no politics involved in this. None whatsoever. I said this earlier, I think this week on the show. It's really sad, but these trials have now become the campaign battlefield for Donald Trump. And the field was set by Joe Biden's Justice Department. So this is all is fair in love and war and politics, I suppose. But watching Donald Trump go into Harlem and speak there and then comparing it to Joe Biden in Pennsylvania. Interesting to see Donald Trump campaigning in New York City. Well, that's because he's in New York City. He didn't choose on the map. We really got to work on trying to win Harlem. That's not how this goes. He went to that specific bodega, which is where that individual was shot, and it drew a lot of attention. The story was very high profile. But Joe Biden is in Pennsylvania for a very particular reason, because he needs to win Pennsylvania. He said this.
I've been to every single of the toss-up states so far. And guess what? If you're not anybody knows anything about polling, it's awful hard to poll these days. Because, no, I'm serious. But guess what? even in the polls that are being used now, we're ahead in 35 polls.
I could almost get a bingo off of just that clip. Whispers, guess what? No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
I mean, the more crutches he uses, the less I feel he's in command of his messages. He falls on his crutches when he is wavering a little bit. We're ahead in 35 polls. Maybe he's talking about internal polls. Maybe they know something that we don't. But that's not what the majority of polls are showing right now. Here's more from him in Pennsylvania.
One that offends me the most is when he refused as president to visit an American cemetery outside of Paris when he was president. Why? He said that those soldiers who gave their lives were, quote, was his quote, suckers and losers. Suckers and losers, he said it. Who the hell does he think he is? Who does he think he is? These were heroes. These soldiers were heroes.
That was angry Joe Biden. Joe Biden has a greatest hits that he goes through, and of course he's campaigning. So I kind of get tired of when we're going through a primary and it's like Nikki Haley goes to this place in New Hampshire, Nikki Haley goes in that place in New Hampshire, and you can stitch together the same thing that they say at every single one, which is the same thing that we could play for you with Amy Klobuchar talking about Snow Woman, which is one of my favorite things that Donald Trump ever did was nickname Amy Klobuchar Snow Woman, I believe was the name. And she told the same joke over and over and over again and made it in her mind. It was funny, and she thought it was part of the greatest hits, and it just didn't land. Joe Biden's going to do that. Donald Trump's going to do that. Everyone's going to do that. The question is, what kind of things are they talking about? Are they emotionally sensational things? Are they policy-based things? Are they current event types of things? We have a consistency.
My grandfather would tell me when I walked out the door in North Washington Avenue in Scranton.
I don't know how this guy's going to finish this race. I mean, I literally don't know how he's going to finish the race. The only way he's going to be able to do it is if they just don't put him out there. I feel bad for him. I can't not feel bad for him. I also feel very bad for the country. There's a world where Joe Biden isn't the president anymore and somebody else is. And we can be upset and mad about the policies that person has or very happy about the policies that person has. They take if Donald Trump trips over his words, they use that against him, and the people on the left on the CNNs, the MSNBCs, and in the podcasts that people listen to quite a bit now, and more so than those mainstream media outlets, they take a slip up from Donald Trump, or if he switches some words or something, and they do as they see Joe Biden actively slipping up. They apply exactly what you would say to Joe Biden, and then they just very boldly and blatantly say it about Donald Trump. And it's basically like if these thought leaders, if these influencers from the left say it out loud, like, you know what? Donald Trump has some age concerns himself. If they say it out loud, then it gives permission for other people to just start saying it out loud. There is no force to make you understand and speak in reality terms that exists. You can, because of your political bend, just speak whatever you want into existence and say it over and over and over again and make it be so. There's no reality that exists in that. And that's where the policies and the reality of what's going on in the day-to-day comes into play, because you can only get away with that when times are at least, they don't have to be great, but they have to be good enough that your attention isn't being diverted while you're listening to your favorite left-leaning podcast, maybe it's your right-leaning podcast, and you're driving past the gas station, which I went to last night, and it's $3.99. Just a hair short of $4. $3.99, $3.89 if you have the Easy Pay or whatever it is. It's very hard to listen to the sensational, emotional pleas of a politician when you're paying $4 gas. And that's $4 gas in Southern Illinois. That means that it's much higher in other places in this country. Those are things that actually resonate with voters. So when Donald Trump goes to Harlem and people are paying attention to him, I think that stuff matters. And if you look at a place like New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, you could go all across the country and look at these big cities. And you see the kind of policies that are put in place there. And you're looking at this YouTube live chat poll, which level is the most important to win in the November elections, local, state, congressional, or presidential? I ask myself, like locally here in St. Louis, this isn't going to happen. I don't even know if we run Republicans in St. Louis. And I say that seriously. But if Republicans gained access through winning an election to run the city of St. Louis, how quickly would we see a dramatic difference? Would we see a dramatic difference? I think we would see a very dramatic difference. In the state of Illinois, of course, if Republicans were able to take the state elections, which we are in like a midterm year, we don't have the statewide this year, I think you would see a dramatic difference in the existence that you actually feel and experience on a regular basis if the party swung all the way from one side to the other. In Missouri, if it went all the way blue, you would feel that difference in Missouri. Presidentially, though, there's so much executive authority that exists in that office. It's hard for me to not look at the presidential election, specifically in this year, but this is what it seems like we say every year, that the presidential election is going to be the most important one to win. Brad, what do you think?
I've gone back and forth on this because I truly believe as a matter of principle that your state, and the closer the government is to you, the more direct impact it has on your life. But under these last 3 years, I've also watched the Biden administration kind of show how the national government can seep into your life and directly have an impact on you through things like threatening to ban gas stoves and stuff like stupid stuff that goes into your home. They wanted to control that. They reached out to social media companies and said, hey, take this stuff down, and then they threatened them to try to censor your speech. These are direct infringements on your life. And so I look at that and it's like, man, the presidential election is really important because they control that policy and those bureaucracies. But I can't. I go back to state governance. Your state governance is your most important governance. If you look at a state like Florida, the Biden administration isn't able to force Florida to do anything because they have good, solid state governance. It's big enough to take on the federal government and small enough to be accountable to the people of that they're representing. So I'm voting state on this one.
When you compare red states and blue states right now, boy, is there a difference. If you look at a Ron DeSantis, Florida, and a J.B. Pritzker, Illinois, it's like different countries in many cases. It's hugely impactful. Ryan, what's your vote?
This is a good question because in any election, it could change. And since we're talking about this election, I'm actually going to go presidential in this one because I do believe that what matters in this one is that Trump can clean out the federal government. It does need to happen. And until that happens, there's a lot of other things that really wouldn't matter. So I think in this one, if Trump is able to do that, then maybe in 2028, it does change, and I would vote for congressional or state or local. Certainly in 2012, I probably would have voted for congressional. But in this one, presidential.
G-Wibs agrees. He says, I live in Illinois, St. Clair County, so no hope there. Oh, G-Wibs, come on, we can do it. We can work together. He said, but to me, the presidential election shows me the state of the country, and I try to be optimistic. I do think that if you have somebody at the very top, you have the best, that's the best marketing plan to showcase what a particular party's policies are. So you have the direction. I mean, look at Joe Biden. Look at what he prioritizes. Look at what he prioritizes over other things. Look at what he doesn't even address. When the country is screaming to pay attention to, say, the southern border, all he wants to do is blame Congress, and not just Congress. He wants to blame the House of Representatives. And why is it that he wants to blame the House of Representatives? Because it's the only place that Republicans have the majority. That's why the attention is put on there. It's just a political play. President Biden cares only about politics. It's all he knows. It is what he's best at. It's all he's ever done is be a politician. So of course he would. I don't know why we would expect any different from him. Let us know what you think. Which level is the most important to win in the November elections? We're going to take a quick break, talk about some fun stuff when we come back here on the Annie Frey Show with Brad and Ryan, myself here in studio. Go vote and let us know what you think. Leave a comment if you so choose. We'll be right back.
Days get so long and I got nothing.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show.
STS-armory.com, the website for the Pontoon Beach, Illinois gun store that I go to. They have ammunition, they have safes, they have holsters, they have a wide variety of options for you as well. They have accessories and the knowledge that you need to make the purchase that you've been wanting. They can take you from applying for your first FOID card to buying your nth gun, whatever it is you're looking for. They know the rules, they know the laws, and they are there to help make sure that you can exercise that Second Amendment right with confidence. That includes the classes that you can sign up for at STS Armory. This is an amazing gift to give somebody who might have been thinking about getting their conceal and carry license, to be able to go have training from somebody who is knowledgeable. Katie and Jesse both are wonderful when it comes to education with firearms, with safety, with situational awareness. They are there to guide you through this whole process. And I know Mother's Day is coming up. They have women-only, ladies-only classes for conceal and carry. And I highly encourage you, if they've ever talked about this, this is a really unique and smart gift to give that mom in your life. 618-931-GUNS, 618-931-GUNS, STS-armory.com.
Baseball is back, basketball is heating up, and the NFL Draft is right around the corner. Listen to the latest on the teams you love with the free Odyssey app. The biggest sports radio stations in the country, providing unrivaled local coverage of their teams, all in one place. Exclusive interviews with players, coaches, and team executives, streaming live and always available on demand. Stay in the know with your favorite teams with Odyssey, AUDACY. Download the free Odyssey app today.
Just imagine being walked all over for 36 years. Who would do that? The great customers of Reinhold Flooring, that's who. For over 3.5 decades, Reinhold Flooring has been the mecca for carpet, hardwood, vinyl, laminate, and area rugs. Reinhold Flooring is customer-driven with a focus on top-quality products and installations from the best team in the business. So come on in and walk all over your next flooring at Reinhold Flooring. Visit them at 5429 Telegraph Road in St. Louis or online at reinholdflooring.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-699-1059. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-699-1059. That's 800-699-1059. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
There's the 8th strikeout for Lynn. The Cardinals host the Brewers the weekend of April 19th through the 21st. Join us at the ballpark on Saturday, April 20th, when 25,000 fans 16 and older will take home their very own Cardinals full zip jacket courtesy of Mercy. This exclusive Navy jacket sports the STL logo on the chest and it has many elevated features. That's Saturday, April 20th. For tickets and more information, visit cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Lance Lynn, the St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Elevate your headwear game at the ballpark on Sunday, April 21st with the Cardinals and the Brewers. That day, 25,000 fans entering with a ticket will receive a custom Cardinals bird hat thanks to Bally Sports. Chip and I had fun wearing a very similar hat during some 2023 broadcasts, and now it's your turn. Following the game, kids 15 and younger can participate in the High Chew Kids Run the Bases. That's Sunday, April 21st. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/promotions.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gsLHonorFlight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
If you use a smart speaker, you can listen to 97.1 easier than ever. Just tell it to play 97.1 FM Talk. Or download the Odyssey app for your phone and stream the station whenever, wherever.
County Road 233 under my feet.
Nothing on this wide
This
rock
is the
but
Annie Fry
little
Show.
I got 2 miles till he makes Bill. And if I'm right, we're headed straight for him. I'm going home, gonna load my shotgun, wait by the door and light a cigarette. He wants a fire, well now he's got one. He ain't seen me crazy yet.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. A reminder to go vote in the YouTube live chat poll. Which level of government is the most important to win in the November elections, local, state, congressional, or presidential? So go vote, and we will get to more of that in a little bit. I think it's time, Ryan, to talk about the elephant in the room.
Oh, no, there's an elephant in the room? I didn't even know there was one.
I think you know. It's an elephant in the room.
Oh, that. Yeah, go ahead and talk about that, and I'll follow.
You sure you don't want to
Lead? No, I'm totally cool with following on this.
Oh, there's a Fox News article about 3 popular sayings and their surprising origins, and the first one is elephant in the room.
That's what I was going to say. And I felt bad scooping you.
Mm-hmm.
And because I do that sometimes, and I can tell that it's not good radio, and I appreciate the flow of the show.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I hate disrupting that.
Speaking of the elephant in the room, do you know where the phrase comes from?
No.
Do you?
No.
Neither did I. Fox News reports on the important things. The popular phrase doesn't mean, of course, that there's an actual elephant in the room, which would be quite something. That's literally what it says.
Okay.
Rather, it refers to a very big topic of conversation that no one is discussing. When there's an elephant in the room, typically a big piece of information, news, or dramatic moment is being withheld or avoided by many. Do you have any major elephant in the room stories? Like, have you ever been in a situation where everybody's thinking the same thing, but nobody is willing to talk about it?
Yes, but they're like really sensitive times. It's usually if somebody has like a life-threatening disease, and everybody knows that's what is on everybody's mind, like at a holiday or something. Everybody knows this person might not be there next year, but nobody really wants to talk about that. That's a really uncomfortable situation, but it's on everybody's mind.
Have you ever been part of being the elephant in the room?
Oh, I'm sure I have, but you might be aware of this. I'm rather naive to certain things. So there are times...
I don't know if naive is the right word.
There are times...
I think it's more oblivious.
Where, sure, either way.
I mean, naive and oblivious are different.
I might be a part of the elephant in the room and really have no idea. And then later figure that out. And that's the worst part.
Have you read,
later when I figure it out.
Ever
been the elephant in the room?
That?
My entire baseball career at my high school was me being the elephant in the room.
What does that mean?
You're really good or really bad?
I was really bad.
Oh.
It's not that I was really bad. I just felt like I really wasn't wanted by the rest of the guys on the team. Like, why did you try out for this? Why are you here?
Ooh, man, that's rough.
Yeah. Well, I've talked about before my high school experience not being great. And, like, they would throw my gear on the roof or they would hide it or something like that.
And say things like, we hate you, we don't want you here.
They wouldn't say it.
Oh, they didn't need to say it.
But
that's why it was the elephant in the
room.
room.
Just all their actions, and they just, nobody would come out and say it. It's like,
gosh,
just
that's
get it out.
awful.
What did I ever do to you outside of try out for this team that made you hate me so much? Like, the reason I found some of my missing equipment was because one of the grandparents of the people say, hey, some of those goofballs hid your stuff behind that tree over there.
Gosh,
stuff
Did you ever
like
figure
that.
out why they treated you that way?
I have theories, but I don't have anything like hard or specific. And mainly, I think it was because most of the team was made up of kids from a certain town.
Mm-hmm.
And
just political.
At my high school, there was like 3 feeder towns, and the kids from each of those feeder towns fed in, and they hung out with one another.
They're from smaller towns, and you were big city Brad.
No, I was not from any of those feeder towns initially, and I moved in late whenever my family moved to Freeburg, and so I never was part of one of those groups. So I wasn't accepted by the Freeburg kids, nor was I ever accepted by the other cliques.
You had a fancy car.
No.
You're one of those
No.
rich kids.
No. I did not have a fancy car, nor was I rich.
Sometimes I think it really depends on the issue, but sometimes I think about, I'm the type of person who will talk about the elephant in the room if I feel like there is an airing that needs to happen in order to get past it. But there are other times where it's just like you sit there and you're like, okay, when is this over? Or just avoid the situation altogether. Fox News says the saying has an interesting history. The Oxford English Dictionary notes that the first recorded use of the phrase came in 1959 from the New York Times. On June 20th, 1959, the publication noted that, quote, financing schools has become a problem about equal to having an elephant in the living room. It's so big, you just can't ignore it. However, well before that, in 1814, Russian writer Ivan Krylov wrote, quote, the inquisitive man, end quote, and discussed a character who visits a museum and fails to notice an elephant, presumably in the room. So it's just a matter of something that was written one time and it just stuck. How many people were reading the New York Times to be like, oh, that elephant in the room thing, that was good?
The 1959 thing surprises me. Like the old Russian literature thing is what I was expecting. The 1959, somebody just said it in a newspaper once. I was expecting like Tippecanoe and Tyler too.
Many other credit writer Mark Twain with the origin of the phrase in his 1882 short story, The Stolen White Elephant, about detectives seeking an elephant. Have you ever heard the term shrinking violet?
I've heard that term.
I don't think so.
I haven't. Do you know how to use it?
Isn't it somebody that like? I feel like it's somebody that whenever they're placed under the spotlight, they kind of shrink away from it, and they
like
don't.
Ryan.
Yeah, they shrink away from the spotlight. Ryan doesn't shrink away from the spotlight.
I just don't have anything to say
No,
right
he
now.
just jumps right in there as much as he can.
It's unfortunate that you guys are talking about me.
I
don't know what to do. I don't know what to do right now.
Can't even not respond.
Oh my gosh, I'm on camera.
This popular expression is often used to describe a shy, timid, or bashful person.
That's me.
Someone who does not like attracting attention to himself or herself.
Right. It's totally me.
By adding a negative to it, the phrase then refers to someone who's the complete opposite of that, as in she's no shrinking violet.
Okay. I can go. What is the headline here? That these are phrases that we don't need to use anymore?
No, just why do we say these
random phrases?
What are they,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I really don't know that one, though.
While the expression may have begun as the lyrical name of a vibrant, colorful flower rather than a person, it's now mainly used figuratively to describe modest and introverted individuals. An early example of the phrase used in print notes the same source is from Pennsylvania's Titusville Herald newspaper in 1870. The article ripped into William Tweed of New York, believed to have absconded with public money.
Good. Tweed deserved it.
Last one. Everybody knows that. Last one. Go cold turkey.
Okay.
Have you ever gone cold turkey on anything?
Yes. Sugar. And it didn't last.
You didn't go cold turkey
I
on
did.
sugar.
Well, I've done it
For
multiple
10
times.
minutes?
I've
Like
done it
for
multiple
the
times.
afternoon?
To go cold turkey on something, don't you just like have to stop doing it?
Yes. Hey, look, I have
and actually stop, not go back to it.
I have done diets that I said, okay, for 30 days, I'm going to eat nothing but protein. And I did it. So I would say that was going cold turkey.
What, did you eat cold turkey protein?
Did
I don't think
eat
you
cold
understand
turkey?
this is a phrase. We're not talking about deli meat.
Yes, I have done this. I've eaten just turkey for an entire month. That's what the phrase means,
Never
right?
even heated it up. Have you ever done anything cold turkey, Brad?
Yes. Yeah, I quit bacon cold turkey and soda cold turkey after I had my heart attack. I didn't have it again. And
bacon cold turkey sounds like a great dish.
Yeah, bacon cold turkey. The hardest thing was salt. So right after I had my heart attack, they said no salt in your diet.
Do you measure that through sodium?
Yes.
Or is it different?
It was sodium is what they said. Low sodium diet. I was on a no sodium diet. So we couldn't add anything to any meals we cooked or anything. That was difficult. Eventually they took me off of it and I was able to go back and
Isn't
use
salt
it,
one of those things, though, that once you get off of it, if you were to eat the way you ate before, that it would be almost offensive to you?
I definitely don't eat as much salt as I used to. I don't use the shaker or anything like that on food at all.
Ryan, do you salt your food before you taste it?
Yes. How did you know that? I do that.
Just a guess.
I do that to green beans 100% of the time.
Yes.
If I see a green bean, I'm just going to dump salt on it.
But food with no salt, even in in a recipe that calls for it, is atrocious. It's equally offensive as too much salt. So finding that balance afterwards was nice, but it was like a reset for my taste buds for sure.
You kind of got thrust into that.
Yeah, I didn't ask for that.
You had a heart
Well,
attack.
I kind of asked for that, but
So, Ryan, you had
Please.
quasi-diabetes.
Hey, I just got my A1C taken on Monday, and I'll have you know it's still below 7. even though I've been eating a ton of fast break bars lately. I'm just really into those.
What were you saying about quitting sugar cold turkey?
I had a
2.5 minutes ago.
I had a set time that I was going to do it, and I did it. And it does reset you, but the problem is the minute the diet is done for me, I'm like, time for pudding. And I just go right back into what I was doing. It takes me like 2 or 3 weeks, but then I'm right back to what I was doing. So
That's because you're doing, I've done this too, so I say this is from experience, but like setting, okay, 30 days and I'm not doing this, that's not a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a commitment and it can help you do the reset, but for me, in my mind, when I've done that and done it very successfully at times, it doesn't ever last because I was always looking at the finish line.
Yep.
And if you're making a lifestyle change, what you're trying to do is postpone the finish line.
yeah. Usually it's for an event. You know, it's you're getting
Smaller dress size
yes, yeah. Like it's almost summer. You know, I want to look good in a sundress.
in the library.
Yeah, I want to look good in the library. What did you just say? I want to go look good in the library. I mean, that's an event. I don't know what you guys
He's
have.
going to figure it out
Yeah,
tonight.
eventually. He's going to be late. Dang it!
You guys, now this is the elephant in the room. That I don't know what's happening, but then tonight I'm going to realize it, and then I'll have no way to broadcast
Because
that
you're
I've
a
realized it.
shrinking violet.
What do you think he goes by?
To go cold turkey.
What the heck? You guys have something right now that I don't have. I don't know what this is. Does the audience know? Is the audience with me right now or you? I don't know.
I don't know, but this is great. If you know, you know.
I don't know what's happening.
I think I broke Annie.
Somebody in the chat tell me that they understand that they also don't get what's happening. And don't listen to my words. That they understand that they don't get what's happening.
To
That
go
was a
cold
stupid way to
turkey
put it.
usually refers to someone who quit something for good without delay, lead up, or extend. Struggling.
Come on. Okay, now at this point, somebody in the YouTube chat, let me know what I'm missing because I want to know. And the segment's almost over. We're almost out of time. Now get on there and let me know what I'm missing because there's something happening that I don't understand.
The phrase was first written in British Columbia's Daily Colonist in 1921, and it discussed those who surrendered to see a doctor. According to Merriam-Webster, the newspaper column noted that, quote, perhaps the most pitiful figures who have appeared before Dr. Carleton are those who have voluntarily surrendered themselves. When they go before him, they are given what is called the cold turkey treatment. I don't think this is explanatory.
Is that my nickname? Like, is that what you're saying? That I'm cold turkey and that I'm giving somebody the cold turkey treatment, like my treatment? Everybody's in the chat talking about milk. Does that have anything to do with this?
Merriam-Webster also notes it may be that the original cold turkey was a combination of cold, as in straightforward or matter of fact, and the earlier talk turkey, which dates back to the early 1800s and refers to speaking plainly. Regardless of its ultimate origins, the phrase manages to vividly capture the initial dread and discomfort that comes from immediately quitting something that is addictive. From drugs to dating apps. Dating apps? Why do you have to quit dating apps cold turkey? Are you married?
I think that's a good reason.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, go
You
vote
guys,
YouTube poll.
you guys talk turkey with me in the break.
I don't really do that.
Somebody in the
so-
chat did get it.
Okay, good. You have to go back and listen. Oh man, I'm gonna get my act together. We'll be right back.
Well, it's 10:30.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
He pulls in the drive, gravel flies. He don't know what's waiting here this time. Hey, I'm going home, gonna load my shotgun, wait by the door and light a cigarette. He wants a fire, well now he's got one and he ain't seen me crazy yet. Slap my face and he shook me like a rag doll. Don't that sound like a real man? I'm gonna show him what little girls are made of. Gunpowder and lead.
Point Pest Control, point with an E, pointpestcontrol.com. Call them at 636-798-0023, 636-798-0023, and have them take care of the pest problem that you've had in your house. I think pest problem's kind of a subjective way to classify the bug that you saw in your house or bugs that you saw in your house. If I see one spider, that qualifies as a pest problem. That's why I had Point Pest Control come out to my house last fall. They took care of every nook and cranny in my home, and I have not seen a spider or even any bugs in my home since last November when they are there. Now, of course, I understand there's going to be a time where something's going to get in the house and it's going to need to be treated again. That's why I subscribe to their premium quarterly service. And I'm happy to be a quarterly payee, I should say, a payer, so that they can come to my house and spray outside and keep the seasonal nuisances away. Like in April, the mosquitoes that are starting to set in, don't want those in my home or around my home either. So have them come out and take care of your pest problem. And when you mention the Andy Fry Show, you're going to get an extra 10% discount on the top of any specials that they're running right now. I am so grateful for Point Pest Control in my home, for my family, and I highly encourage you to check them out for yours as well. 636-798-0023, online at pointpestcontrol.com.
Our $79 garage door tune-up extended through April. Is your garage door old and whining for attention? Overhead Door Company of St. Louis will make it all better. They'll perform their full 26-task garage door tune-up for just $79, extended through April. That's just $79 for up to 3 garage doors and openers. You need this done once a year, so why not now? And for just $79. Schedule now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility in this election year? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 38 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Okay, so you filed your taxes this year, but you know you have past IRS issues. And now the IRS letters are coming. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Don't ignore those IRS letters. They're important and give you rights and deadlines to defend yourself. Waiting could cause you to lose those rights. Call the Lance Drury Law Firm now and let us help you get ahead of the IRS and defend your rights while you still have time. The Lance Drury Law Firm is located here in St. Louis, so take the first step and hire a tax resolution attorney. We've made it super easy to schedule your free consultation in person, or you can do a phone call and save travel time. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm. Call today at 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120. Or go visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Onder Law, we deliver big judgments for the little guy. Onder Law takes on the biggest industries and holds them accountable. Call today for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
Looking forward to seeing the results of the YouTube live chat poll today.
Will you please do this as cold turkey?
Which level?
No. Stop.
You know what? This time check is just going to end cold turkey right there. 2:46. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. Good afternoon. Apparently, I have found myself in a dust-up with another media member in the television world. I'm going to talk about it right after Fox News at 3.
I'm not gonna lay around and whine and moan, 'cause somebody done me wrong. Don't think for a minute.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
I believe it's
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show, at least for now. Josh says cold turkey is an awful stage name. Josh, you should see the show.
I
wish you were all watching on the YouTube when Ryan caught up.
Yeah, it did take me a minute. I will say though, it was really funny. Once I caught up.
Wait until you go back and listen to it in real time.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. We're gonna have a good time tonight, me and the fam. Catching up on old cold turkey. I got some things to tell you, family. Don't. I can see it on your face. Well, anyway.
Man, there's so many things we could do.
Listen, kids, gather around the fireplace. I want to play something for you.
All Thanksgiving songs.
Cold turkey, Thanksgiving jokes. Excellent.
Pure orange juice might have some unexpected benefits.
Oh, wow.
Do you guys drink orange juice?
No, not a lot. Every
no,
now and then.
Anytime I get it, my kids drink all of it before I get any.
We're from the 80s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Orange juice used to be healthy.
Yes.
Because it was of fruit.
Yes. That's right. There's your fruit category.
It's got a lot of sugar in it.
Yeah. That's why you got to have it thick pulp.
When, I have 4 kids, and only one of them still really gets these. Well, no, maybe the 7-year-old, but lots of questions about what kind of drinks, beverages they take in. And, the pediatrician's recommendation is like they should have milk and water.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
They stay away from soda. I second that. I don't let my kids have soda unless it's a treat. So, we go down the soda route the same amount, maybe even less than, okay, let's have ice cream or have a cookie or something. It's, in the category of treats, and I try to make it so that they don't have sugary soda or caffeinated soda. But if they're at Grandma and Grandpa's and they let them have it, treat, Grandma and Grandpa privilege. Thank you for watching my kids. Just return them in one piece and we'll be good.
Yeah, totally. I found a loophole in that advice from doctors, though. Yoo-hoo.
Yes.
Yeah, yoo-hoo.
Go on.
It's neither milk nor
right
water,
here.
and
I've
it's
been here
not
the whole
soda, and it's got all the vitamins and minerals in it, and it's not as bad a sugar as you'd think. So we drink a little more yoo-hoo than
You know who you sound like? Joe Biden selling Bidenomics. I don't believe you.
Look it up. Come on, man.
Not a joke.
Not a joke.
No, I'm serious. Yeah. Vitamins and everything.
The more you feel like you're losing people, you just start yelling.
It's got vitamins and minerals.
Not a joke!
Not a joke!
These are the fun segments to do when I think about people listening to the show in the bathroom right now.
What the heck? I thought that was the conservative network.
Yeah, no, you're wrong. 36 normal weight adults were tasked with drinking drinking either 100% orange juice, an orange drink, which sounds like the category that you were in.
No.
With Yoo-hoo, or water before eating. The researchers found that food and energy intake was lower in subjects who drank 100% orange juice compared to the orange drink. Caloric compensation from 100% orange juice was 84%, while the orange drink was negative 25%.
Does Sunny Delight count as orange drink?
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, is orange drink like High C?
I thought orange drink was those
McDonald's?
things like in the little barrels with
it's its own thing.
With the
it's
aluminum
just
foil tops
it's like
or whatever.
Orange flavored liquid.
Yes, exactly. Like there's nothing to it but just like the highest sugar content. It's like there's not even any orange juice in it.
I'm just going to take G-Wibs here, his comment as gospel here. Sunny D has about 5% juice in it.
That's a winner then.
And Amanda confirmed Sunny D is not orange juice. It doesn't even taste like orange juice.
No, it's different.
Sunny D or Tang?
Sunny D.
Oh, Tang.
I don't actually know Tang that well.
Tang
I just know that it has something to do with astronauts.
Yeah.
What kind? It's a weird way to say astronauts. In conclusion, consumption of 100% orange juice. I just had to follow cold turkey with something, and this is what came up. Consumption of 100% orange juice as a preload resulted in higher caloric compensation, lower total daily energy intake, and lower blood glucose concentrations compared to the orange drink.
Oh, glucose levels, eh? Now you've got my attention.
Have you ever made your own orange juice? Like just totally fresh squeezed orange juice?
We probably have tried and then was like, this is dumb.
In my mind, it would take about 42 oranges
Yeah,
to
that's
make
what I
a
mean.
glass of
It's
orange.
like, this isn't a really expensive glass of orange juice.
Pulp or no pulp? We just had this conversation,
I'm no pulp.
No pulp.
and I'm the more the merrier.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I'd rather just eat the orange.
It's probably healthier for you.
Fiber.
And also, every time I think of oranges, I always think of my grandma because she says that. No, she said that when she was younger, that oranges were a big Christmas gift. Has anybody else
I've heard
this?
that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because
Get 'em in your
she's the
stockings?
only person who had ever told me that. And
It
I
was like coal or oranges.
yeah, that's
Yes.
right. Yeah, and because I guess they were hard to get, and so it was like a treat to get oranges, especially in the winter, right? Let us know,
I don't-
G-Wibs.
What did you eat that was valuable nutritionally when you were a kid?
Yeah, I mean, my dad made steaks.
Yeah.
Pretty odd. He still does.
How frequently
Loves
and how long
grilling
did you
outside.
have table meals?
I don't know that we all sat down around the table, but my parents were very faithful to make like a protein and a vegetable every night. And it was usually the same few things, but it was a good meal.
Did you eat it? Did you?
Yeah, it was always like, I got real picky on vegetables where it was like, and there's the other thing, when you're a kid, people considered corn a vegetable.
Yeah.
Well, now they're like, no, that's a starch.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Carrots.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. So it was always something along those lines.
What about you?
We tried to have dinner around the table. I mean, I would say on average probably 5 or 6 times a week. My parents always did that, and the nutritional
For
stuff.
how long?
Till we were finished.
Like
we sat down.
forever.
Yeah.
No, I mean like.
Oh,
Yeah.
till we were done eating dinner. I don't know how long it took us.
We
Some of us
said
were
the
faster
prayer
than others.
together and then we left.
Yeah.
How long?
It was until I moved out.
Why is this so hard?
We've really come apart at the end of the
Yeah, it
show
happens.
today. What happened? It's a Wednesday, too. Usually this is Thursday. But how long did it last? Until we were done. That's like, you can't plan that kind of joke. And you didn't mean it. I love being on the inside of this thing this time.
Keep analyzing it,
Yeah,
Ryan.
Okay, cold turkey. Keep pipe down. Gobble gobble.
Brad. He's on the outside this time.
Did you do that through the time that you were
Yeah,
there?
until I moved out. We
Okay.
did that.
But like what, 25, 30 minutes?
Yeah, I'd say about 25 minutes.
This is really hard.
We're still
Ah.
going to do the poll.
Yeah, I know.
It's a good question, too.
Which level is the most important to win in the November election? I say presidential. Ryan, you say?
I said presidential.
You went
And
back and forth.
Yeah, I was state. I settled on state.
You settled on state. Well, we have the results here. Jackie said, I voted Congress. President is important, but Congress gets things done. What Congress are you looking at, Jackie? But I get what you're saying. Hopefully Republicans will work together and do it. Carlo also agrees congressional. Ender said, I selected local, but I'm changing my answer to state. State has enough power to stand up to the Fed, no matter which side. Your state should align with what you believe as much as possible. Lots of different answers from you guys today. Thank you for participating. We appreciate that. We have a 5% voted state, 6% said local, 18% said congressional, and 72% of y'all said presidential. So Donald Trump, Joe Biden, one of these two in November. That's where you think the most importance is. Stick around, Mark Reardon, coming up next.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ziprecruiter.com/radio. That's ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Now is a great time to act on that big spring or summer project you're planning in the backyard with Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Mark Cox here. Call Chesterfield Fence and Deck, mention my name, and receive 20% off an installed outdoor project for the entire month.